the door open before? Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Phil opened it.
Oh shit.
Yo,
The light just turned
dude,
on.
literally the light.
Are you
just
serious?
Fucking turned
The
off.
light just turned on.
Did you catch it?
It
No.
was on and it just turned off. I really wish you would have caught that.
I swear to God.
We were both looking at it.
Yeah.
There's like an orb in the. But I think
Okay,
it
let's
might be.
go.
All right. Well,
Let's go, Phil. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless podcast. This will be for Wednesday, November
The
November 6th
November the
Sixth?
6th.
or 7th.
Oh shit.
Wait.
Phil's looking. Hold
Come
on.
on, guys.
fourth,
Get our
fifth,
shit
sixth.
together.
It'll
It's
be
the
the
6th.
sixth.
You had it right,
We'll
Jay.
be for November 6th. As always, I'm your host, Big Irish Jay Hollingsworth. And we have the Mascot, a.k.a. Seatown Philly.
What?
Jason.
Hell yeah.
Richland, Washington. Seatown Philly, a.k.a. the Philanthropist, a.k.a. Phyllis Diller, a.k.a.
Jonah Phil,
Jonah
a.k.a.
Phil.
Serious Philly. What up, dude? There's the Phil Fox like the animal. Blah, 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 blah.
And we have with us a returning guest, one of my closest friends, former roommate, Manny Martin, a.k.a.
Yes.
Manny Martin.
A.K.A. Manulus Rojas Martin Jr.
That's right, Rojas.
Yeah.
Rojas.
Weird name.
You definitely should have been a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
So this is being recorded here in Richland, Washington. We're at the Best Western. We're all doing Jokers in Richland this weekend.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
We had the first show was last night, which was Halloween night, and walking in there was nobody. It ended up being fine.
Yeah.
It was light.
Felt like it was
it's
like at
Halloween,
least
but
40 people.
sure. Yeah. But it was a good crowd.
They were a cool crowd, yeah, for sure.
One of our listeners, Jason, who's probably listening to this now, he was at the show. It was what the
Jesus
fuck are you
I
doing?
fixed it. I just fixed
Did
it.
ya?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ugh,
It was
God.
reclining.
Can you fix
and-
that cigarette smell?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Oh God. It's like it'd be like riding in a car for an hour and a half smelling like shit. All right, so we'll
Great
get
to be
that.
here.
Do you get what I was referencing?
That I smell like shit.
No.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ,
That
Phil.
I-
Your shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to that. You idiot. So, anyways, all right. So, last night at the show, Jason, our number 7 listener, as he says, he was at the show. It was his third time seeing me at Richland at
That's
Jokers.
awesome.
Yeah. Which, by the way, shout out to Jason. And he also said to give Kane some shit because Kane didn't come again.
He never comes. Hello. I was adding.
And also Cheyenne was there. I think she's seen me three or four times. She also used to see me down at the parlor in Bellevue.
In Wyoming.
no shit.
Yeah. And so we're out here, and Phil. We have the host is Parker Jones.
Parker, yeah.
I think. What are you doing, Phil?
I got to get rid of my gum, guys. I don't want to smack my
Swallow
gum.
it.
Yeah.
I'm not swallowing gum.
Well,
That's the first.
yeah.
Great. Oh God, Phil. There you go. Oh God, I'm sure that's good for the camera.
All right.
So Parker Jones is hosting. Phil is doing like a 10-minute guest spot that turned into a half hour. Manny's doing like 25, and I did like I think 40. But yeah, a couple things, and then we're doing our haunted podcast, or we're gonna do our annual HollingsWorthless haunted podcast.
I'm fucking scared.
Oh, dude, okay. I'll tell you what I found out about the place.
Oh.
We'll get to that in a second. I want to just talk about. So I flew into.
This is that episode, right?
Yeah, this is the haunted.
So
podcast.
fucking welcome, guys. We're
Yes.
finally doing it.
Yeah.
This is the Haunted Halloween podcast.
Yes, for 2019, and it's going to be the Manitoba. Manitoba, is that how you say it? High school.
I don't know.
Manitoba High School and
Don't call me that.
Gravity. What?
Manitoba?
What does it mean?
I don't know. Sounds derogatory.
Jesus Christ.
So we're going to be doing the Manitoba High School, which is an abandoned high school, and we're going to Gravity Bridge, I think they call it. But before we get to all that part of it, I want to
Let's
talk
talk about this road trip
Yes.
that we've
Okay.
had thus
So
far.
Manny was getting back from a
LA.
thing from LA on Wednesday. You got in at 11:30
Got in
or
at 10:30. Yeah.
I got in at 11:30, so we met at the airport. Went back to his place. Went to bed.
Huh?
And excuse me. And then Thursday, Halloween Thursday morning, we were gonna leave at 10, but we moved it to 11 because Phil wanted to go a little later. So we were like, "That's cool, Phil. We'll move it to 11." And then Phil showed up at about 11:35.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm just telling how it happened.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Huh?
Am I wrong on anything?
Let me see. So we originally said 10. I said that's fucking crazy early. So you guys were nice and pushed it back to 11. And then I showed up at 11:30.
5.
And we took off. And
Wait a minute, so I was right in what I was saying, right?
oh yeah, no, yeah, you were right. Yeah.
Okay. so we're driving to Richland, Washington from Seattle, which is about a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
About a 3.5 hour drive.
Didn't realize how long that shit was.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a drive.
Well, one of the things that might have added to the feeling of it taking extra long was something that happened on the trip. So we're probably an hour and a half into the trip, and tell Manny, I was like, "Hey, can you stop at this rest stop?" And then I got out at the rest stop and went into the bathroom, and
Jay signed a lease.
Yeah, I shit like a horse. It was like the consistency was like I had hay in the horse horse shit in there, and it was like cake frosting and it was awful. But I couldn't stop shitting.
Jay, you've never eaten a vegetable a day in your life. I definitely know there ain't no hay in there.
Hay's a vegetable?
Huh? It's like grass, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that a vegetable? I mean, isn't it from the growing out of the ground? It's a
Philip.
it's some kind of a organic.
Back to the story.
Yeah. So this is an exaggeration. I'm probably in this shitter for 30 minutes.
Literally, we're watching people come in and out. We're like, did he die in there?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And I know he didn't fall in.
Yeah.
What?
I know he didn't fall in.
Why?
Big guy on a little toilet.
Oh my god.
I went through a whole package of baby wipes trying to clean myself. I didn't tell you guys this. I partially shit myself when I was in there. When I was running in there. Yeah.
Oh, as you were. Oh shit.
Yeah, I was
my
like,
god.
Oh god. So I was in the bathroom. I'm trying to clean the little bit I got on my underwear. I'm trying to clean myself. I'm fucking, and then I'm washing my hands. So we get back in the car, and I stink. And Manny even goes, he goes, "Wow, what's that? Why is this? I wonder why it smells like shit around here." It was like, I go, "Oh, it's probably me." And then we all like laugh, like, "It's funny." But I was like, "No, it's probably me for real." And then, then as we take off. About 5 minutes after we take off, I look down on the middle of my sweatshirt, and there's a little smudge.
Chocolate stain.
Yeah, of brown. I was like, and I'm not going to smell it there. I'm like, I got shit. I think I got shit on the front of myself.
Oh, my God.
And so now I'm like, oh, no. So I roll down the window just to crack to be like, let's get some fresh air in here. It's nice and cool.
Oh my god.
That's why I had the window down
That's
the whole
why
time.
you had the fucking window down.
Oh my god. I thought you were just trying to get fresh air, but I literally thought that there was like I thought we were just in like a really like fertilized area and we were smelling like shit outside.
Yeah. Can I just say that if you recall earlier we got McDonald's and Jay got those new
chicken strips,
slathered sauced chicken strips, and I go you know who's really gonna love those? Jay's asshole.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, what do you know? Let's just hope that was maybe barbecue sauce on your.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Let's go with that. Man, this barbecue smelled like shit.
It was the shit.
Oh man. So the drive ensues, and Phil is just telling these amazing stories all the way down to
I'm crazy
to Richland, and
you're in tears.
I'm in tears. Like I literally can't breathe. It was that fucking funny. Like every single.
I do remember you were like, guys, we gotta stop for a second because you just gotta fucking breathe.
Literally, my abs hurt, and I was in tears.
My ass hurt.
Yeah, everybody's just fucked up.
My soul hurt.
Nose.
Oh man, so it continually gets better.
Yeah. But, and so we got here. What about
5-ish, 4?
Yeah,
4:30ish.
Yeah, and the place. This is the same place I've been staying at. I think for like the last 3 years that I come out here and do Jokers, and they remodeled the hotel. It's fucking great now.
I mean, dude, they have like a fucking
swanky.
They have a slide for the pool.
Yeah,
a basketball hoop.
Did you go check out the pool?
We went and looked at it. Yeah.
And then me and Jay hit the gym this morning. So I mean, it was legit.
The only thing I've never seen, which
Me
I
at the
want.
gym?
True. Well, I mean, I haven't. We never gone. But the hot tub, I saw. It will say the depth. It said a foot and a half. And I was like, a foot and a half.
That can't be right.
Well, then I looked inside and I didn't see. You know how when you get in a hot tub, normally there's like the little bench for bench
Hold on,
seating.
man, he's busy.
Sorry.
And,
oh God, somebody messaged
was
me about
no-
coming to the show tomorrow.
There was no drop in the middle, so I'm like, you just go in and sit, and your legs have to be like you're in a kiddie pool or something. Adults are in this place.
One
Kinda
thing
funny.
one thing we forgot to mention on that whole drive, we tagged up one of Phil's stories.
Yes.
Yeah. The threesome bit continues to get stronger.
Yeah. So and that it's important that we mention that. So we were on that for about a good 45 minutes.
Yeah.
45
Working
minutes.
on his whole threesome bit. So we get to the show last night. Again, it's Halloween night. There wasn't a lot of people, but the people that were there were awesome. Thank you for those that came out. And
I had already done a 30-minute set.
Yeah.
You said that earlier. Come on.
when in the car?
No, you said we're at the show now.
Yeah, but you hadn't already done a 30-minute set now that we're at the show. So
That
we're at the
was-
show.
oh
Phil
my
was supposed
God.
to do a 10-minute set. Ends up doing like a 30-minute set. That's where
Jeez.
it's funny. That's how you make it
Jay.
funny. No.
Oh my God.
And
Isn't
then
it time for one of your stupid quotes?
Wait, I just have to say, like,
Dan.
waiting on deck when somebody's supposed to be doing a guest spot, and I'm watching Phil do these magic tricks, and like,
oh
go ahead. What were you
no, go ahead. Yeah.
And literally, like, he's juggling, and then he's doing his rope tricks, and then he's like, "All right, time for the grand finale, everybody."
It was ADD comedy for
It
sure.
was
but-
definitely ADD, and so he's probably like a good 20 minutes in.
Yes, I was gonna say is if you
I
listen to
think
this
so.
podcast, you know that, and we've talked about it on the podcast that Phil's kind of like, I don't know if you'd say you're reinventing yourself, maybe,
I just
you're
want to do
finding
what I
your
like to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that always is going to just be straight stand-up. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So he started off with some stand up, and then he did some juggling with jokes, and he did some magic, and then but he didn't do the threesome bit that we had just
Correct.
done in the
Yeah.
car or
Right.
talked about in the car, which I understand he only had 10 minutes and he wanted to respect his time, but he didn't. And then Manny went up, did his thing. I went up. I'm in my set. I don't know what made me say it, but I don't know. I was probably 20 minutes into my set, and I called Phil back up on stage. And it's so funny because sometimes you're like, hey, come back up here, and comics will be like, oh, I don't know. I was like, hey, come, and he was already on his way back up there. I was like, okay, sounds good.
And I remember because I did respond so fast. You go, hey, Phil, come at it. And I go, yep. And
Yeah.
everybody was kind of like, oh, geez. He was ready to go.
So Phil came on stage, and I was like, you didn't tell the story that me and Manny want you to tell.
Yeah.
So tell your threesome bit. And to Phil's credit, and I don't know, I think there's something to be said of something being sprung on you and you don't have any time to overthink it.
Right.
Because
Sure.
you just went into it, and to your credit, you fucking hit, I think, maybe one you
I think
didn't.
the
but
only
you
one I
didn't.
missed was the FUBU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hit and this is probably 10 tags. That
Yeah.
we added, and he hit them all, and he did great. And dude, it did great. What's your thoughts on that? The doing it in the moment, and then all of it.
Sure. So, I mean, under the circumstances, it was not just me doing the joke. It was kind of set up in a certain way, but still just getting through it. It was it's gonna sound funny, but to your guys' credit, so thank you for helping me. I was surprised at how many laughs I was able to
You're like,
get.
oh, this is how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, well, I was just like, holy shit! I have like a laugh happening like every
Couple
fucking like
seconds.
I was
Yeah.
like, that's new for me,
Oh my God.
and which I not that I feel like I'm constantly bombing. I'm always kind of okay with where I get my laughs.
Right.
And to have them happen that rapid is like, I was like, damn, this is cool. Like, how many more bits can I come up with where the laughter is rolling in like
We'll
this?
just
So
spend
yeah,
an
it
hour
was-
on each one of your 1 minute bits.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
No, but it was it went great, and
I will say this: the only thing I wish that maybe you would have added, and this is just for me as a Phil Fox fan, the little text you got from your dad. I don't think you.
Oh,
included that,
sure,
did ya?
sure,
I think
yeah.
that could be something fun, just to kind of call back.
yeah.
now keep in mind, in his defense, which you know this, like, so Phil had already done like a 15-minute, 10-minute guest spot. And and then this, I was like, it's a long bit. I mean, and
it is.
And I'm not saying it was dragging because you were getting laughs, like you said, pretty consistent through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was like, oh, fuck, this is going to take for a while. So I brought out my phone while he's telling the joke. And I was like, here, look. And I had a
I mean,
countdown.
we were playing off of each other.
But
a
it was
little
good.
bit. Yeah.
It was.
But also, I think it helps keep you fucking going.
And it was your set, so
Yeah. Yeah.
so I get it.
But the audience loved it, and I said afterwards, I was like, shouldn't Phil have said that story? And then everybody's like, yes.
Yeah.
And then we tagged up your magic trick about the glass eating. The
Yeah.
idea. Are you gonna try that tonight? You only have so much time. So
I know.
Yeah.
I think you
It
should
takes
do.
a
I think
long-
you should redo the threesome bit tonight.
Yeah, I want to work on
Okay,
that
all
for
right.
sure. If anything, if I was gonna do that, and I was gonna just do the other trick, and that was probably gonna be my
All right.
set. But
There you go.
but that's if I do want to do the magic trick or not.
All right.
I gotta go buy a bottle.
Yeah. So then the show went fine, and the thing I was happy about, like Manny and I, kind of whenever we work together, we try and challenge each other. I mean, it's for our own benefit, but we always are like, okay, we got to do at least one new joke a show. And because Jason was in the audience, who's been seeing me the last 3 times,
Yeah.
and he was sitting in the front row.
No pressure.
I told Jason before the show, I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and do a lot of new stuff. I got to do my one joke to pitch my shirt, which I knew he had heard, but afterwards I was asked him, I was like, about half of it new, and he was like, no, I think it was a lot more than that. He's like, I think
Awesome.
Yeah.
which I was like, all right, cool. And then most of the news, actually, I think all the new stuff did fine.
He hadn't heard like majority of that stuff,
Yeah.
which is like amazing because that makes it seem like you have 3 hours. You probably have close to 3 hours of material.
Maybe you were telling, we went to breakfast this morning because Phil got a little crazy last night. But we went to breakfast this morning, and Manny reminded me of a joke that if before him reminding me, if you would have said, what's the joke you have about your mom? I'd have been like, you could offer me $1 million. Do you know what joke it is?
I don't keep going. I don't know.
It's about about being on. I vaguely remember it. Her being on Facebook and like posting an old black and white of her back in the day where she was like, looking hot. And
okay.
And then friends being like, ooh, I like this filter and this vintage. Who's this hot bitch? And I'm like, and it was
Like that's just the picture.
yeah, dude.
Like that was what they had back then. Yeah, and it was just like he goes through all these tags, and I don't want to give away the joke just in case you want to ever go back to it, but it was a great bit.
But I was like, oh fuck, I totally forgot about that.
It's so funny. Like there's so many jokes in hindsight that you're like, oh shit, I haven't used that in like years.
Yeah.
So oh god, I'm the
What is
unprofessional one.
that? Jeez.
Oh fuck. Anyway, so the night closes.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you take over the story.
Yeah.
It's
So,
actually because it's actually Halloween.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
actually-
we're doing
it's
the show
Halloween
on
night.
Halloween.
and we have
Yeah.
a hard stop at 9:30. So we finish, and as soon as we finish, people are coming in their outfits and everything. And then I sold a shirt. And
It's like the floodgates open, the floodgates to hell.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everybody was walking in there. It was
It was literally, so I mean, literally they broke down the stage as soon as Jay walks off. They start setting up the DJ equipment. People flood in, and so Phil's like, "Hey man, I think I'm gonna stay, and we're gonna like party." And so me and Jay,
we had each gotten one drink
We
to
each
kind of
gotten one
finish out
drink,
the
and
show.
yeah.
But my fucking drink was 32 ounces.
yeah,
Jesus.
and you were like, "I don't think I'm gonna finish this all before we leave," and I was
Yeah.
like. And part of me in my head was like, I kind of just want to go home and sleep. But then another part of me was like, if I don't come back, Phil might die in this
Oh,
place.
yeah,
because
absolutely.
I'm like, Manny, come on, man. It's Halloween. You gotta hang out with
Yeah.
me, buddy.
So, anyways, me and Jay, we end up driving back, and I'm like, if I'm gonna hang out, I'm gonna Uber because I don't want to be,
very
like,
responsible.
I feel like the cops are looking for people, on
Most
Halloween.
responsible one here,
Absolutely.
the
Trying
black guy.
to. But the funny shit about it is like, I don't even know if they really have any black people out here, so I didn't want to be that person. You know what I mean? Oh, let's just pull him over for fun. And I think I have like a tail light out, so
Sure.
I don't need any excuses. But we end
The
up.
things I don't have
Yeah.
to worry about.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, because I'm not black.
So, anyways, we end up. I end up taking me and Jay go back to the hotel, and Jay's like, fuck, maybe I'll come out. And so we're thinking about it, and Jay's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay behind. And I'm like, all right. So I grabbed the lift.
I also know how Phil gets.
Yeah, and I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about.
okay, little throwback. The last time I hung out with Phil,
Oh, God, yeah.
he was fucked up grinding on some dude, just kind of being funny. And then he like tries to walk to the dance floor towards these girls, and security literally, he's walking side by side with me. They grab him by his shirt and drag him out. And I hit a spin move and pretend like I didn't see the shit happen. And Phil like calls me like probably 10 minutes later, Manny, where are you? Manny, where are you? They dragged me out. I was like, oh man, I didn't even see this shit happen. What?
Man, you were holding my hand.
Yeah, it was like, Manny, come out here and get me. Come get me. And I just fucking drove off.
So you owed me one.
I owed you one. I owed you one after that shit. So I come back.
I would have left me too.
And by the way, I'll tell you one of my flashback stories. Do you remember when I took you and Tyler? It was one of the first times I was able to take who I wanted.
Yes.
And I brought you and Tyler somewhere in
Bellingham.
Yes.
Yeah.
These fucking
We were
cunts.
getting fucking smashed.
Yeah, and I told them we're sharing a room, all three of us.
Yeah.
So I go, look, guys, all I ask is I want to get sleep. I want to be able to have a good night's sleep. Something that I think something had happened where I was just like, I was fucking dead tired as it was. I was like, do whatever you want, but just I'm asking you, please be quiet so I can sleep at night.
Yeah.
Sure, no problem. And then fucking in and out at night at 3 in the morning. They're
Well, and we ended
loud.
up just sitting in the fucking stairwell, smoking, drinking.
Jesus
so fucking
Christ.
Till
annoying.
like 6 in the morning or something.
Phil's not a fun drunk to me.
Yeah. So I come back.
I thought it was pretty fun last night,
Yeah.
but
I come back. I find Phil in like, he's probably at a 8. Phil, you know what I mean? Which is anybody else's like 15 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, fuck, you came back, give me a hug. And I was like, all right, let's go grab a drink.
He's like, fuck Jay.
And so,
your glasses.
so we walk over to the bar, and Phil's in like amped up Phil mode. Phil is literally sitting there.
I love dancing for one, and there's a dance floor. And
There's a dance floor.
This is a party,
But
and I'm ready to get down.
Yeah, but we haven't even gotten to the like dance floor. We're standing in line, and he's like it's all like Mexican
Oh,
people,
sure.
and he's like sitting there like speaking Spanish to people, and like, and
But
the guy.
it's not like I'm saying like, oh, you guys like enchiladas? Like I'm fucking like trying to talk to them in Spanish.
but the guy, but
You're like, hola, como te llamas? I remember that.
he kept saying that shit.
You should
Yeah.
do
oh
that.
shit, yeah,
And then he's like hitting on girls at the like far table in Spanish, and then they're like, ugh.
yeah.
But and then and then
They had muchas cervezas.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And he was like, look like y'all got Skittles on that table. Look like y'all got Skittles on that table. Y'all go drink those? And then they were like, okay. And so anyways. then
Taste
Phil-
the rainbow, girls.
Yeah, that's what he said. And then the girl, there's a girl and a guy behind us. And like Phil was like talking, and then he's like apologizing. He's like, I had to de-escalate that situation. The guy looked like he kind of wanted to fight.
Well, I went to shake his hand. He goes, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
and then I had to explain like I'm an idiot on purpose because I'm here this weekend telling jokes.
Yeah.
And I was like, so please, this is how I am all of the time. So
Right.
Yeah.
So we end up like kind of waiting in line a little bit more, and these guys try to cut, and Phil's like, "Oh no, fuck this!" And like he cuts in front of them, and like de-escalates that situation.
I was joking with them too.
Yeah. But I was gonna get pissed because I was like, these motherfuckers are just gonna try to jump in front of us. And so, anyways, we get our drinks, and then
when I get liquid courage in me,
yeah.
I definitely will lose every fight, but I think that I can,
Yeah. So, anyways, we end up drinking a little bit. Then we hit the dance floor, and we're a little turned up. And,
fuck yeah, we're having a good time.
we're in the middle. Like, people are kind of dancing around us.
Yeah.
Phil's like talking to everybody, and then man, just chaos ensues. And then all of a sudden, here comes the costume contest. And
By the way, am I fun dancing with?
oh yeah, you're great. I
Yeah,
mean, like
thank
literally,
you.
that was like, okay, now I'm good. Like Phil is good because he's in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay looking like an idiot dancing. Like whatever.
Yeah.
We're
I
comics, right?
love dancing, man.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, Phil got some like good moves. You look like you're in a rap video. You're like doing the whole like.
Yeah.
lean shit.
I do the little Khalid dance.
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Do it again. Hit it again.
Yeah, she was, and he was on beat too, and like one of the
You're like, that's the most impressive. He's on
it really
beat.
was. And there was like this girl from the show who kept like coming over and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Like so.
Which
it did-
girl?
She was sitting on the far
On the-
end.
the far
of
end.
the,
On the right or left?
on the right.
So if
Oh,
you were on
I know
stage,
who.
She was on the right. Yeah, far right. Yeah.
know who.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So we're in the middle, and then all of a sudden the DJ's like, "All right, everybody, I need you to clear off the motherfucking dance floor because we about to get this costume contest going.
Yeah.
So first off, let's get these couples out here." And then it's just basically the sluttiest couple and like
And
people
trust
riding.
me, it's Halloween. It's a Halloween, and we're out of town, and would have been cool to bring a costume for sure. Did I have room to pack it? No. I mean, was that why we were here? No. But I wish I would have been in costume. I mean,
Yeah.
It was a cool party, and
For
so
sure.
you know, I was kind of feeling. I was just
a
kind of
fucking idiot.
I kept telling people I was dressed like a douchebag.
Yeah.
Which
We
didn't
kind of
get
had
too
like
much
an
of a
Andrew.
laugh,
You
but-
kind of had an Andrew Dice Clay jacket on, so
Yeah.
I mean that was kind of dope.
Just stick to the tags me and Manny.
Yeah,
give you.
there we go.
Don't go off script.
Jack and Jill went up the hill,
God.
both with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Hey.
She needed the money.
So, anyways, the couples contest gets over. Somebody wins. Then they're like, "All right, we're about to have the sexiest fucking solo costume out here." And
Yeah, the sexiest solo costume.
Yeah.
First, it took like fucking half an hour, 45 minutes to go through these couples costumes.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and every time that they get down to like, okay, we have our top 3,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, "Ooh, give it up for number 1.
Casey Kasem.
Yeah, exactly.
And
On your
you
top
know,
hits.
they're doing cheering, and then at the end he's like, well, it sounded pretty fucking even to me, so we gotta do it again.
Yeah.
And then you know, so they start like dancing becomes a part of how they're getting their
getting
cheers.
that. Like people are just like twerking
Yeah.
on the dance floor to
So
get
I'm like,
cheers.
that has nothing to do with fucking what you're wearing.
Just
And
the
so
guy
I'm
that's
like-
not even wearing a costume.
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I can do that.
Yeah. So
I might not have a costume on, but I can garner.
So
fucking
by the way,
praise.
I'm in bed watching Forensic Files, getting updates via text from Manny.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh god, he's at full fill right
Yeah.
now. And so, like, literally, it's the sexiest couples, or no, the sexiest individual costume, right? So, Phil's just on the dance floor.
So he come out center stage if you want to, you know,
So
be
you're
part
on,
of this.
you're in
So
center
I go
stage.
stand right there.
And he's like standing like in the center, and like and the DJ just keeps on saying, "I need everybody to clear the dance floor. This is
Yeah.
only the sexy."
And I go, no, I know.
Yeah. And he was, and then so literally, I try to walk by Phil and I try to grab him. He's like, "Get the fuck off me! I'm in this shit."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm in this." He's like, "I'm gonna fucking compete." And then, so anyways, I walk by and I walk around the crowd,
And the next
and the next thing I hear is, "Somebody please come get their drunk friend."
I was gonna say, then the most embarrassing 5 minutes of my life
Yeah.
happened after that.
Yeah, so then people are just like Phil starts taking off his clothes and is down to what?
I took my socks, my shoes. I was down to nothing but my underwear.
but your underwear and like
and I
nothing
was
but-
humping the floor.
and nothing but camera phones were on.
I
you.
looked behind me. I shit you not. I thought I was at like a
stadium?
R. Kelly press conference or something like that, because it was definitely not. They weren't doing
Yeah.
it because they were fans. You know,
Yeah.
They were taking
Yeah.
pictures of me because I was an idiot. But I looked behind me. I saw tiers of
Yeah.
phones with all
It
just
was-
their lights on.
It was
pointing at
crazy.
me.
And then as I try to come back around the back of the circle, I can't see shit. And the DJ is just insulting Phil. He's like, "Hey man, you got doo-doo stains on your drawers."
low blow, bro.
And he didn't, but I mean, it
Well,
was,
did you inspect?
I didn't expect it. But anyways, it
They're
was
on
just-
my
you,
shirt.
Did
Yeah.
you have tiny? Yeah. Exactly. No, come get this dude's got doo-doo stains on his sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Were you wearing tighty whities?
They were light gray.
Oh, you
So-
might have.
Yeah.
No, I inspected later that night.
Yeah, you did.
And then I got pissed because I was like, motherfucker,
yeah.
What?
trying to call me out like that. I mean, I was already. If I'm already that drunk and you're taking pity on me because I'm being an idiot, you don't gotta kick me while I'm down, man. I mean, come on. and then people were hating on me. I'm like, I'm not doing nothing but what everybody else was already doing, except I decided to push it to the next
What
level.
was your costume?
Naked
I'm
Phil.
just a sexy motherfucker who knows how to dance.
So anyways.
Party boy.
Yeah.
Party boy.
So anyways,
They didn't respect it.
the chaos ensued. We end up going.
By the way, I loved getting that text from you. You're like, oh God, Phil's in his underwear on the dance floor. DJ just said he had shit stains.
And by the way, I was able to fucking sneak my
Yeah.
way so fucking slyly out of the whole situation. I picked up my whole pile of
Yeah.
shit, and the stage is like right there,
Yeah.
and there's a little curtain for that green room. So I just was like, and I just
Yeah.
dipped into the green room, got changed, took my time.
And
I
I'm,
could
like,
hear people
looking-
being like, "Wow, that fucking guy," and I'm like sitting here going like, "They're gonna forget about me in a minute."
People like, wow, is that like a Make-A-Wish?
It was hilarious though, because I'm like walking around looking for Phil. I'm like, what the fuck happened to him? Did he
Yeah.
like lose face and like just run outside crying?
So
Like-
I got all dressed again.
But you're just in the green room in the dark, just texting, texting me.
I was texting you. in the
Yeah,
dark,
yeah, and I
That's
was
true.
like, oh shit. So, anyways, long story short, we ended up like the rest of the night just kind of is what it is. And then
Yeah, I mean, we still had. We brought it back around. We had a little more
yeah.
fun.
around, drank some
Yeah.
White Claws, and
Yeah.
called it a night. And Phil wouldn't stop talking to me.
Yeah.
And then this morning, I go to Manny's room because Manny and I, we were like, all right, we'll work out. We'll work out in the mornings. And the door opens and just old stale alcohol smell. Oh.
Yeah.
And I just see all
Coming
the
out the
White
pores.
Claws.
Dude,
Yeah.
And Phil's asleep with his fucking sunglasses on. Like
The
a.
lights were on, so I put the sunglasses on so the fucking it doesn't hurt my head.
You had,
Have you eaten today?
I had a whatchamacallit.
but also what? Like, didn't you have a night mask that you could have put on? Like I
Yeah,
saw
you
you had
do.
a night mask on the
I did, but I
nightstand.
still wanted to see you guys.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. But anyway, so me and Jay go to the gym. We work out, and then we hit this little breakfast spot. I come back. Literally, Phil is in the tub for like, it seemed like 2 hours.
I want no 2 hours. It was
And
an hour.
He takes baths like I shit.
Yeah. And literally, all I hear is.
Yeah, I was hoping I didn't drink so much that I was gonna end up puking in my hangover, but mid bath I was
Yeah.
like,
I'm like
ooh,
half
I got some indigestion.
yeah, I'm half asleep, and all of a sudden I hear like, I mean, you had been in there like a good like 30, probably 40 minutes, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I hear, blah! There it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, thank God.
That's why you're all energetic now.
And I came out. I like Manny's like. So did you puke in the tub then?
That's what I was.
I was like, no, man. I leaned over to the bath from the bathtub into the toilet and
yeah,
did appropriately.
and that was night number 1.
Yes. And now night number 2. Perfect. We're getting to, we're going to do our ghost hunting episode tonight. And so we have 2 places we're going to. The first is a place, people call it the Gravity Bridge. And I remember, I think I've seen stuff like this on like an Unexplained or something. But basically, you go to this bridge, you put your car in neutral, and it will roll up a hill. And they tell you to put baby powder, which I got. I checked. I got a full thing of baby powder.
Okay.
They tell you to put baby powder on the bumper, and you will sometimes see fingerprints.
I thought it was a windshield, but both. We do on both.
I do wonder.
Somebody told me windshield. They've told you bumper.
Oh.
I do wonder. I mean, we could put it on both. I don't give a shit. But I
It's
do
gonna- if you
wonder.
put it on the windshield, it's just going to slide down.
That's what I was thinking. We could try both though. I heard that lady said that shit too.
Fucking idiot over here.
Well, the interesting thing.
Yeah,
is,
and ghosts are real, by the way.
yeah. Oh, you never know. Didn't you just cry didn't you cry at the exorcism
Yeah.
thing?
Exactly.
They're trying to get you possessed.
Yeah.
So basically, I wonder. I do wonder if my car will experience anything because I do have a rosary in there. That's like. So I mean, we'll see.
You put it in neutral, and it just goes in reverse and crashes. Like, oh, no.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so you'll sit in it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you sit in the car and put it in, you will, and we'll get out of it. But
We'll ghost ride the whip.
Wait, I thought we were all getting it.
well, I mean, we can, but
Oh, you're gonna record it as I say.
yeah,
Oh, that makes
yeah,
sense.
and also got to put the baby powder on the outside, and
Okay.
also I don't want to weight it down with any excess weight,
Why? Why?
because then it might not be able to roll
No,
uphill.
why would it have excess weight?
Because anytime you add mass, you're going to be excess weight.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
I think the car's rated for that much weight.
Rated?
Yeah.
What rating?
R.
Why? What's R stand for?
Triple X.
What for what?
For our fucking dicks, motherfucker.
What the fuck?
So that's the first place we're going to go. And then...
But I heard if the car does roll up
Oh,
the
yeah.
hill, you
And
have to
if
go
there's
into,
handprints.
and there's handprints, you have to go into a barn.
Yeah,
or
they
something?
say if the handprints show up, then there's a haunted barn that you have to go in after
Yes.
that.
So we're going to do that. That's the first place we're going
Which
to.
I don't know what that even means. Like,
We'll
you
find
go
out
in
when
there,
we
and,
get there.
and that's when they kill you.
yeah.
There's like, oh, you got a black one with you. There's just these fucking rednecks in there.
We eating good this winter.
Jesus.
I like that dark meat. Okay, I'm sorry. That's stupid.
Oh my
So
God.
after that, we're gonna go. I think it's called the Minitob. I have it in my phone, which is recording this, but something high school. That's an old abandoned haunted high school. And I did some reading.
Okay.
I don't know if this is true or if somebody just made this up, but supposedly there was a fire at this high school, and that's
shit.
why it closed down,
So
and
kids-
people died.
No shit, in
Yeah.
a fire. Wow.
Oh God.
So
I'm already afraid.
and it looks terrifying. This school,
So
by
let's
the
go
way.
relight it on fire.
Oh my God.
So we'll see what happens.
Right.
But those are going to be the ghost hunting things we're going to do tonight. I was going to say we should pause right now because the next video will be us, at the
Doing
ghost
all
hunting shit, and the next video and the next audio will be us. And just so you know, the rest of the audio you're going to hear is going to be recorded off of an H1, but we won't be mic'd up. It's going to be, pointing the thing at us. So there you go.
And also for all you Ghost Hunter fans, if you listen closely to the audio, let us know if you hear weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Or
point.
when you see the video, if you see something that we didn't see. And I'm so amped for this. It makes me think of that Tom Brady quote, "Let's go."
Oh,
Jesus.
I hope a ghost fucking hurts that guy. Oh, Halloween.
Oh my God.
Tom Brady.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay,
So we'll see you in a sec.
Sounds good.
And then what we're going to do also is after all of this, we'll do a recap. Tomorrow we'll
Yeah, it's a little non-typical of an episode,
Yeah.
but we'll still do a worthless of the week.
and we'll do it it'll be at the end of all this. All right, thanks. Dude, this shit is creepy. There's no lights anywhere as we're on our way out to Gravity Hill, and then we're going to check out the baby cemetery, and then a haunted abandoned building. Oh, goodness. There's no lights anywhere. This is just my ear. Just waiting for something to jump out of one of these fucking rows of trees and bushes. Yeah. We did see something fly in front of us that may have been a bat.
Or it may have been a person.
Phil's nose is possessed.
Ready?
Dear God. All right. Oh my God. There's fucking no light. Oh God. Phil, what are you saying?
Let us spiral down into the depths of your despair.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
Teach us how to torment those of the innocent.
Phil is insane. All right, so there's hold on. So there's the old haunted mill house. Yo, okay. And then there's that faint white line there is where you park and you put the car in neutral and you're supposed to float up in
Uphill.
So let's go over to that and check it out.
Or get sucked down into hell.
Shut up. All right, pop the trunk, get the fucking baby powder out.
All right, go get it, Phil.
We might have to go out there. Somebody come with me.
Dude, this is
Jay, I feel like somebody's gonna come.
Shut the fuck up. There's literally no lights anywhere.
How horror movies get made.
Shut the fuck up. Dude, this is...
Stupid people like us come and do this kind of shit.
I know. Hold on. I'm getting in the car. I know. What you doing? All right, so we put baby powder on the bumper because they said that's where
On
you'd
the
see.
windshield.
Not on the windshield.
It's all over the windshield.
Why?
Sorry.
It's not.
That's
the
what I
windshield
was
makes
told.
no sense. It's
Right,
the bumper.
They told us that too for some reason. Okay. So
okay,
we're on the
so
mark.
we're on the mark. You see it's uphill.
Neutral.
Where's your... I can't even see your neutral, but... Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're in
You're
drive.
You're in neutral?
Let me see. I'll show you. Okay, so we're currently in drive. Going
see it?
neutral.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
We're in neutral and we're looking at a hill uphill.
Did you just take your feet off the brake?
Mm-hmm.
Your foot's off the brake.
Yeah. Maybe you two should get out the car.
Hold on.
Whoa. Oh, I saw those lights flicker in the camera.
Maybe we're too heavy.
What if it's your back tires?
Could be.
Did your lights go dim?
Somebody
I
fucking
turned
comes
them
up
on.
behind us and starts pushing the car.
I know.
Yeah, lock the door.
Yeah.
Well, let's see it's moving.
I really don't want this myth to be busted. Come on, people. Come push our car, please.
Oh, I thought I saw something. It was just like flickering lights.
Does your car have to be off?
No, it's supposed to be in neutral, right?
Neutral.
Yeah, but maybe...
No,
I don't
it
know.
doesn't have to be off. Should you roll up for the back tires?
Oh, God. If we just started going, I'd be like...
Oh my God! It almost didn't start. I'm not turning off the car again.
Maybe... I mean, because this looks like it's going uphill if we were to start moving, but maybe we should turn around and try it the other way. But I think it's supposed to be going this way, because that's the old fucking haunted thing over there. This may be busted.
Hold on. Because you're way past it now.
Should I turn around?
I try to put it in neutral now.
Foot off the brake.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a stick or automatic?
Automatic.
I don't see us doing it. Fucking just a car flying
I
over this.
know.
But you know what? If we're kind of on the hill now, shouldn't we be rolling backwards?
Yeah.
This doesn't really look flat, if you ask me.
No, it goes up, but
But, no, but why aren't we rolling backwards?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's try it the other way.
This is where somebody runs out of the fucking. Never again.
But you're gonna drop the N word.
Neighbor.
I'm surprised they don't have like a sign out here that's like, please don't fucking with our.
Well, one thing said no trespassing right
Yeah.
there. But I mean, this is a public road. They can't be like, don't go on this road. But see, this looks like it's going down now.
I'm surprised the guy doesn't come out with his fucking shotgun.
What if you
Now,
went-
see, when you rolled up to the line, though, it looks like that goes uphill up there in front of us.
Okay, I mean, we
Doesn't
can.
that look, yeah, right here, right?
Try it that way?
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
but this is
Doesn't that look like it's going uphill to you?
eventually, yeah. But the
your
line's here.
brakes
But
on.
this looks like it's going down right here.
Put
What if we started rolling backwards?
I know.
Put your brakes on. Doesn't this look uphill to you? Looks uphill to me.
Eventually, we're
Eventually.
not moving it at all, though.
Yeah.
Put it
Here,
in
let's
neutral.
go closer and let's see if there's another line up here.
All right.
You know this is the area? That's the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This may be busted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, maybe this is the line.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh, there's a line up there
that's
too.
a bunch
Wait,
of fucking baby
right in front of
powder
us.
all over the fucking road.
Okay, okay.
Oh boy. Do you want to reapply the baby powder? Oh, here it says start.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's the start. So we got to turn around and we're going that way.
Wait, no, this is going up.
Okay, we'll try it here.
But it says start
Are you-
facing the other direction.
But the other way would be
What's
like
that word right there that's in the street?
It says start.
No, right there is something else.
something
with an
can't
M
see.
on the
Say
end.
Trump?
All right. Are you in neutral right now?
In neutral now.
All right.
And we're gonna go backwards. It
Oh.
says starts the other direction.
Yeah, but this is going down anyways. So
Yeah.
that wouldn't. Oh God.
just-
All right. What?
The right way.
Yeah,
All
but
right,
that
I'll turn
goes
around.
down. Well, that's fine, but this does.
That would make
We'll have
no
to take a
sense.
look at it because it should go down that way.
Yeah.
Let's see what the other people are seeing.
I mean, it may look like it's going
This
up.
is probably flat right here.
It looks like it's going up, but it feels like it should be going down.
Okay, let me see.
All right, let's see.
That looks like it's going down to me.
Yeah.
No, it looks like it's going up.
Eventually up there, but if we start
eventually.
rolling, right here it goes down. It goes
looks
down and
flat.
up.
Okay,
Right.
go
No.
apply the baby powder. Let's see if
It's
this works.
it's applied. Are you
Well, I'm
on
sure
the
it
bumper?
blew
No, it
off.
blew off.
You on the bumper?
On the
Still all
bumper.
over your fucking back windshield. Yeah, me.
The windshield's.
Yeah, go for it. Hurry up.
God, why am I being treated like I'm doing something
Oh
wrong?
my gosh, Phil.
Just go.
Hurry the fuck up.
What are you doing?
I'm turning on a light. I'm scared.
So what I see, and tell me if you see the same. Like I see it going up over there, but like this first part. Did you put it on there?
All right.
All right.
Where's that go?
Holy shit for you guys.
Oh, Phil, don't
Phil,
be like
calm
that.
down.
Come on. We're having fun.
All right, neutral. Here we go. Ready?
But this goes down.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, see, this is nothing. It's supposed to go down here.
All right.
We're going
Okay,
downhill.
but now watch it take us up the hill.
Momentum?
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't get us that far.
That's neutral.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. It wasn't that much of a downhill.
No.
Now, if it keeps us going,
That's not the difference.
but it feels like it's slowing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're almost to the top.
Is this the finish line?
What's that noise?
Seatbelt.
It's still creeping us up the hill, bro.
Yeah.
That fucking creepiest.
All right. Well.
That's about what I expected.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you want to check the back and see if there's
Oh.
handprints?
Yeah, come out. You gotta come out
Yeah.
do your video.
Here, I'll give you the.
I'll go with
No,
you.
I'll give you
gotta
the
come
phone.
out with
I'll give you the
video. We're all
phone.
part of this.
Here, I'll go with you.
By the way, why are we
Jesus,
recording
stop
for
yelling.
podcast?
So. No fingerprints.
I don't see any baby handprints or anything. So, well, I guess we're safe.
But that felt like it was down going.
You think so?
Yeah, that place is creepy.
Yeah. Okay, this is the old Mabton Haunted High School. Yeah. That's terrifying. Old Mabton High School. Dude, this may be the craziest, scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Perfect. You alright, Phil?
I'm a little scared.
I'm telling you right now, if I see somebody up in one of those fucking windows. Ugh, your fucking cigarettes. Yo. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking creepy. I'm just waiting to see like a hand pop out.
I see why now all the ghost hunting videos always look like, they call them potatoes, filmed on potatoes, because at night, like, you know, trying to get without lights.
Yeah.
Yikes. $100, stay the night there.
More than that.
Why do I keep hearing people like running?
Yeah. Whoa, I thought I just saw a person over there.
No, you don't.
I think it looks like the shape of a person, kind of. It looked like they were walking.
Fucking.
It's just shadows.
All right, and we're back. Okay, so where we're at right now in the ghost hunting / HollingsWorthless haunted podcast, it is now Monday, and we are going to be ghost hunting a new location, which we'll divulge shortly. Well, fuck it, probably. If you're watching the video, you'll know. If you're just listening to it, you'll hear it shortly. So, excuse me, let us tell you what's happened so far. Friday night, we went ghost hunting in Richland.
Yes.
And we went to Gravity Hill
Yes.
in Prosser.
Yes, just
Prosser.
outside of Prosser, Washington.
And it so
I'd say the creepiest part to me of that whole trip was just the dark ass roads.
yeah. So as we're driving, it was a good. What did it take about an hour? It took us about
Almost,
an hour,
yeah.
and there is literally just 30 minutes, no light.
It
light
like
source.
progressively got more and more desolate and
Yeah.
rural as we continued on with our drive.
Like one house every like mile.
Yeah.
Fuck,
If
it was,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
it started to.
And just children of the corn fields on both sides of the road, where you're like waiting for somebody to jump
Yeah.
out. And as we were going there, we started playing the theme music from The Exorcist, from The Omen.
Yeah.
And Phil was in the car going, "Satan, we welcome you." And Manny's like, "Okay, guys." Okay.
Yeah,
Enter our
I was
hearts.
literally grabbing the rosary and holding it as we were driving. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't do this right now. That was probably the creepiest thing to me. And then
Your rosary can't save you now. You're in the midst of Satan himself.
Jesus Christ.
Manny's still uncomfortable. So we get to where we're following GPS thing, and we get to where Gravity Hill is, and they said that there was going to be a line. We would find a starting line.
Yeah.
So the way we approached it, or that we arrived, is we were going it looked like we were going up a hill, and then we see that the start line is there. So we're like backwards. So we have to do a 360 and then get to the start line. And then at that point, Phil got out and put some baby powder.
And for those of you who don't know the kind of the story
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
it.
So here, can I actually
Yeah.
give a little
Yeah.
background on this? So the Gravity Hill myth or legend, urban legend, if you want to call it that, goes that there's at this intersection, there's a place known as Gravity Hill. High school students come here a lot to park their car. Now, there's a stretch of the flat ground that you put your car in neutral, and then the vehicle starts moving, and it appears that you're on flat ground, and you know it was night, so there's a lot more shadows. So I feel like we felt like we saw a little bit of an incline
Yeah.
as far as where we were parked when we put it into neutral. But I have a feeling if you're there during the day, I bet you that fucks with your eyes a lot more.
I was going to say, I think during the day.
But I just want to say, so there's a couple theories of why this happens, and this comes to why we put the baby powder on the back of the car. But there are a couple theories. One is that a school bus crashed in that area. Now, when we got out there, when we first drove by, like we said, there's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Except there was the one farmhouse.
But don't forget where you're at in your story.
Yeah.
As we're telling you this, if you watch this will all be up on YouTube. If you watch this on YouTube, I'm going to break it up where after we get done telling you about our experience on this, I'll have all the videos that we took from there, and then we'll tell you about the second place, and then that'll be the videos, etc. So
Perfect.
go on. So
Okay, so they say a bus crashed and many years ago, and the ghosts of the children that died in the bus crash, they hide in the tall weeds until someone comes and parks their car. When the car is parked and put in neutral, the kids come out of the weeds, little ghost kids, and they push the car. Where they're pushing the car is unclear, but they could be trying to help, or they could be trying to get the people in the car to come join them in the tall weeds to live forever with us.
Well, you know what's interesting
Let's
is
play.
during that, if they were in the tall weeds, I don't know if you guys remember, but I got out to take a piss in those bushes. So I pissed on those kids, which is like, I'm like the R. Kelly of ghosts now. That shit is fucking
Perfect.
Yeah.
fuck it, I wouldn't have gone in, dude. I'd have just pissed right there on the. I'd have pissed on your car. I'm sorry. I'm staying so close to that. So also where this is
I
located.
believe I can pee all over these ghosty G's.
okay.
So also next to this
It's
Gravity
R.
Hill
Kelly
is to
song.
the right of it is an abandoned. What was it?
Huge fucking like barn, or what did
Barn.
you call it?
yeah.
Silo, some shit, or
Oh, I
whatever.
thought you
the
were
fuck.
gonna say, like, what do you
It's
call
a
it? A
haunted-
plantation? Like you
No.
pointed at
No.
me, you fuck.
No, we're north of the
Jigaboo.
That was Manny. That was Manny.
yeah, we're north in the Union, baby. It's everybody's free up here, man.
Yeah. So people had told us that right beside that Gravity Hill start thing is a haunted farm or whatever the fuck
Right.
it is, and it looks terrifying. But it's also about
Also looks ginormous. It
Yeah.
looks like it goes up into the heaven, like because
which you'll see on the videos
Yeah.
that we'll
It literally
post.
looks like 3 stories, probably.
it's
Yeah.
creepy. As
But it's
hell.
on somebody's property. The house is about 50 yards. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From it, and there's a sign that says there's no trespassing, which that area definitely looks like somebody would come out with,
With
a
a
gun.
shotgun.
That's no. I didn't want to say anything.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah. Tell me
you,
this.
Manny. I told Jay this later, but I was like, Manny's already like, I don't want to run into any cops. I don't want to run into any fucking rednecks, fucking country
Seriously.
bumpkins, which I get. And so I was like, as soon as we drove by that house, which it was the only house for miles upon miles in the like pitch black because there's no street lights, nothing.
Right.
And I'm like, we're the only
Yeah.
car with headlights coming by their house.
Right.
I'm feeling like he's like,
He's probably
who
got
the
an
fuck
AK.
is coming to get my
Yeah.
shit? And he just,
Not
comes
even that.
out
Probably
with
got
his
an AR, like
yeah,
15 or some
M16.
shit.
And I think all of us were legit worried that if your car broke down at any
Oh
point,
my god.
because we
Yeah.
literally there's nothing around. Like I think it was longer than just a mile. Houses I think were like we wouldn't see a house for like 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And just
farm
fields and
yeah.
darkness.
And like they were pretty decent roads for backcountry.
Yeah.
But it was like all it would have taken is one pothole to be like, fuck. So
And so the baby powder is so you can see if these kids really come out and push the car or not. So it's so fucking dark out, and we had to get into the trunk to get some stuff out or something like that. And of course, who had to do it? Me. These guys wouldn't even come out, and I'm so scared only because it's so
Yes.
dark.
Yeah.
It's so dark, and I am like, I don't know the area. I don't know what the fuck is out in those bushes, whether a fucking coyote or a ghost kid is about to come fucking, bite my dick off or something. More so the coyote, but and so I'm like, I was like, guys, fucking open the door. Like, can you keep the door open so I can like hear you, talk me through this?
yeah, we were like, no, close the fucking door.
And so then you hand me the baby powder, and I start putting the baby powder on the fucking back of the windshield and the bumper. And what do you two fuckers do? What do you two assholes decide it would be funny to do? Huh? What was that? Say it again, Manny.
We drove off, not
What?
even that far, but we like,
Dickheads.
So you'll see and hear
See you
this
later,
all in the
Phil.
video. And you're
Have fun being a ghost kid. Maybe you can push the fucking cars from this point forward.
Phil of the corn.
Yeah.
it was hilarious. We were in
You guys want me to
tears.
check your oil while I'm at it?
So we didn't experience anything. I mean, you watch the videos and you decide if you think we're going up or if it was down.
Yeah, we
So
thought it was like a downward incline, and it literally
But not much. I mean,
not much, but
It
I
wasn't
think, Here's the
much.
thing: I think it was enough of a downward incline to where that's where it like the momentum takes you up that little hill.
what
right.
is it, incline or decline?
Decline, sorry, it was
Yeah,
a decline that took us up the little
Yeah.
incline. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, and there was a stretch of kind of flat, so
Right.
just it gets you moving a little bit, and
Totally.
then you keep coasting, and then you
Yeah.
start to kind of go
right.
up that
And
hill.
so the interesting
Now,
thing
I
was,
thought we got a little higher up on that hill for how fast we were moving than we should have got. But
yeah, I mean, we're like 8 miles per hour. And here's the other thing: is they say if you literally go up the hill, what the story is if it literally pushes you up the hill, you have to go into that barn.
and if there's handprints, they
Yeah,
say
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to go to that fucking barn. That barn is dark during the
So
day
the
too.
girl told us different than what Jay heard. So Jay heard that you just put baby powder on the back of the bumper. We heard that you put it on the back of the window.
windshield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who pushes a windshield?
I don't even know, but that's what the chick told us. So maybe
Well,
it
I
was
didn't
just-
think you'd be able to see shit show up on a bumper, but on a back windshield you could see shit show up.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
I
But
thought maybe there was something. I thought maybe there was like some magnetism thing going on with the whole area. That's why like maybe the wind or whatever the fucking electric charges are in the air would like move the baby powder around in a way that would
Yeah.
make it look like a baby pop.
But if we were to go around the three of us, starting with you, Phil, plausible, debunked, or for sure haunted?
So, I mean, nighttime always makes everything scarier. It was super creepy. I got weird vibes as soon as we got out. I mean, you can't see what's out there in those fields
Yeah.
at night, and that has something to be said for that. But I will say, I think I would have enjoyed the illusion more during
Mhm.
the day,
Yeah.
because I think we did feel like we could kind of see how it was
Yeah.
basically a half pipe,
Right.
So I think it's probably debunked, but
Yeah.
I would say definitely one of the creepiest, scariest places just to be there.
Right.
But I think it definitely debunked. We didn't have any handprints, and I think from the way that we came, where we were going the opposite way of the
Right.
start thing, that I felt like, oh, this goes downhill, And I think, like you said, I think during the day, it would look, probably fuck with you.
Yeah.
Well, before you say, I would just say when we were in the car and after we flipped around and you put your tires at that start line,
Mm-hmm.
from that point, looking ahead of you, it looks like you're on flat ground.
Right.
Yeah.
But
But when you came from the
yeah,
other way,
when
it
you're
looks like you're going
when you
downhill
go to
till
go
it
turn
starts-
around, you're
or
like,
going
oh,
up.
we're going up. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta turn around.
I would say it's
Anyway.
100% true. No, I'm just fucking around. I will say this. I will say I think it was 100% debunked, but I will say that it really is creepy as fuck because it feels like some Chainsaw Massacre type shit.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you don't It's the
Yes.
people living around you, like around that place
Yeah.
that just like I
That you-
think
or the people you can't see
that
that
you
are
can't
The
see
fucking
that are watching us.
monsters
Like,
in that
for
bar
all
and
we
shit.
know, we had a scope on our heads.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
True.
mean? Of
You
like,
just, dude, what if we were out there and just a red dot? I'd be
oh,
like, Manny, don't fucking
Like,
move.
yeah.
Or move.
yeah, fucking duck. Yeah.
So right here we'll take a break. If you're listening, you'll hear it. But if you want to watch the video, go to youtube.com/BigIrishJ and you can see all the footage here.
Into the segment. Chow, 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 chow.
Okay, that's it. 12 minutes. I'm going to mark this. Sorry, give me 1 sec, and I'll edit all this part out that I'm talking.
I'll do our little sound bite. Stick it in.
So we're gonna do an intro for the next.
No, I'll say that's that, and then we'll get into the high school one, which will be pretty quick,
We're gonna
and
do
then
that
we'll
right now, right?
yeah, and then
Okay.
we'll say now you can go look at the footage, and then
Yeah.
end that, and then we'll start now
Let me
this.
bring us back in.
Whoop 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 whoop. There you go. So, write us or let us know what you think. What's your thoughts? Does it look real or that it's going up or no? Now, once we did that, we were like, okay, we're not going to go to the baby graves. We decided that was way fucking far away.
Yeah.
So we
were basically already on a 3-hour tour.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to fucking have this 3-hour tour turn into a fucking getting lost on
I'm
Gilligan's
still-
Island.
Yeah, and I'm still amongst the like thought process. Like, I really don't want my tires to like blow out at any point around here. I'd rather be like kind of on a road towards somewhere.
So that
you didn't want it to blow out, especially near a baby grave?
No, my God, that would have been
Baby
the worst.
cemetery?
so the next place we went to was the abandoned haunted Mabton Mabton High School in Mabton, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Now the story I read on this on why it's haunted. Are you looking it up too?
I think it might still be. Yeah, let me check this.
Supposedly there was a fire there. I've heard two different things. I heard that there was a fire at the school, and
people died.
kids died at there. And then I also, or maybe I'm confusing the bus fire that you had.
No, I think you were right about the high school.
No,
I
because
remember
the
you
high
telling
school
me
looks
about
like
the high
it.
school.
It's completely burnt. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it was a brick high school, but still, I mean, everything.
So if you,
Inside.
we'll post the video of that here in a second. But if you're only listening, the way you would describe this is it's a big, huge brick square building with nothing around it. It's just in the middle of this field. From the pictures, and it fucking like all the windows are darked out and burnt out, and
Yeah.
I think boarded up. And we drive out there and we're trying to find it. I'm gonna.
I
let
mean,
you,
it looks like if there was a portal to hell, it would exist inside of this
Yes.
high school.
This as creepy, as terrifying as the Gravity Hill area was.
Yeah.
This was fucking like you're like holy shit. So I want to just tell the part. We get out there and we can't find it. The GPS took us to the new high school and we're like, where the fuck is this? And as we're driving, we see two cops, and I'll let you take over from here, Manny.
So these two fucks.
And this is at what, 1 in the morning?
1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's two. There's 1 o'clock in the morning. There's 2 undercover cops. We're driving down a road, and it looks like small town, like rural.
No,
Like
they're unmarked cars. But I
Unmarked
mean,
cars,
it's
yeah,
all,
yeah.
you can tell it's police
And if
cars.
you ever wanted to, if you ever,
And they're parked next to each other, talking to
Like
each
back.
other.
if you ever
Yeah.
wanted to know how much of a contrast there is between how happy-go-lucky a white guy walks around this world,
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
it is for a black guy.
Yeah.
Well, let him
Yeah.
tell.
So we can't find it, and we park, and Jay and Phil are like, well, why don't we just go talk to the cops and ask them? I'm like, you two motherfuckers can go talk to the cops, but I'm staying the fuck in the car.
Like, well, we just need some information.
We're like, Manny, just go up there with your hands in your pocket.
Yeah, we're kind of in a hurry, so run, run
and I
towards
was
them.
like, fuck this.
Yeah. So we were like, yeah, okay, that's probably a bad idea. Good call, man. So we're like, fuck, are we gonna? We saw one building that could kind of maybe, but we're like, nah, that doesn't look like the pictures we've seen. So then we find out, okay, it's on old high school road.
Yeah, we found some articles or Google searching that it was on High School Road. Also, I just want to say that we were before we tell the outcome of this. I just want to say we had all intentions of going into this place, so we were also weary of talking to the cops because we thought that by doing so, they might, not want people fucking around in this place,
Right.
and now we're giving ourselves up, and they're going to come patrol.
there's all kinds of articles that say that it's all fenced up, and they'll cite you for trespassing, and that cops patrol it, and so we're like, okay, they probably are ready to patrol it or whatever.
Especially this weekend, that weekend, just because it was Halloween weekend.
So we figure out that it's on High School Road, and the same road as the new high school. So we get on High School Road, and we're like, all right, let's just start driving on this road and see if we can find it. And then we fucking see it, and we're like, holy shit! It looks like it's straight out of
a horror movie.
Yeah, again, Texas Chainsaw or something like.
Yeah.
It's just this big.
Actually, I'll say it didn't even look like Texas Chainsaw. It looked like the fucking Ring. You know what I mean? Just like it looked like every demonic. Like,
for sure.
It, like Phil said, it looked like the entrance to hell.
Yeah. And so Manny was like, "Okay, I'm good. I'll chill here." And then me and Phil are like, "Okay, let's go."
Well, let's be real. Manny's still got the cops on his mind.
So okay, two things.
Yeah, that was the scariest part of the night for Manny.
Yeah, so two things. I've got the cops on my mind, and I have a real day job. If I get like a felony for like breaking into a
Fucking
place,
around,
I don't want to lose my job like over some dumb shit.
Yeah.
So.
And so which we totally understand. So we're like, all right, no problem. So Phil and I get out and we start walking up to it, and now there's a fucking chain link fence all the way around the whole school. And dude, as we're walking up there, we heard like a metal clang behind us.
Yeah.
But there's like no metal. It was
there was no explanation for what would have made that noise. We didn't see any we didn't hear any like rustling afterwards to like something must have fallen or anything shaking, or we just heard this like ting.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Huh, what the fuck?"
Maybe somebody's shooting at us. A bullet just whizzes by us.
And then did you guys hear footsteps?
I didn't hear footsteps that I remember.
Okay.
But it was eerie. I mean, you talk about that weird energy. You're like, I would not feel like just me and even if people were like, okay, go ahead, you're welcome to go in there.
Yeah.
I would want as many people as possible because just me and Phil with our little fucking rig. I'd be like, I don't know, man, this is fucking terrifying.
All of a sudden, I just get lifted up and thrown fucking halfway through the fucking high school.
Oh god, I feel like this shit's about to happen tonight.
Yeah. So.
Oh shit.
So let's.
So I was just gonna say. So I have it right here.
Okay.
So it goes. So this Mapton High School was an old 4-story building. Now all the windows are boarded up, but it says the place is spooky, and kids do go there out of curiosity or on a dare or something like that. They believe that it's haunted, but some people say like when they were in the basement of the place, their flashlights have gone out. They had to feel their way out of the building because it was so dark. When they got back to the car, both the flashlights started working again.
Oh wow!
Like that's a little creepy. And then another time, two deputies were in the old high school checking out a prowling report, and both officers could smell something terrible, and then they heard a terrible scream right after that. They said it didn't sound like any kind of animal or anything human, but they couldn't find anything. And one of the deputies said he would never go back into that building again.
Dude, they say when you smell sulfur, and that's like a demon. So.
Has diarrhea.
Interesting. I definitely have fucked a demon.
All right, so now we'll show you the video that we got from Mapton High School here. 20-minute mark. Let me mark it. 20-minute Mapton.
Chew.
All right, so that's the video. As you can see, it's fucking terrifying. Now, that brings us to today, right now. It's Monday. What's November
4th?
November 4th, and this is our final resting
Remember the
place.
4th. Is it the 4th of November?
4th of December.
Guy Fawkes Day. The Guy
What
Fawkes
is it?
Day.
Yeah.
Was that fucking
V for Vendetta?
V
Yeah.
for Vendetta?
Yeah.
4th of
Anyway.
November, I think it is. But anyways, so
I think December 4th was Jay-Z's birthday or some shit like that, right?
Okay.
I don't know.
Where we're at right now, if you've been watching the video of this, you already know. If you're just listening to this, we are at the Seattle Comedy Underground, which is supposedly very haunted. It's so a little history on the Seattle Underground in general. Did a little research, so I'd have this. But I mean, this when we all were grinding here, I've heard hundreds of stories about how this place is haunted.
Yeah.
This also parts of this. I mean, undersea. So for those of you that don't know,
Seattle was burned down.
Yeah, Seattle burned in a big fire way back
1889. So I
Yeah.
have the info here.
Oh,
so
there
the,
you go.
So that's what you have. Okay.
yeah, the underground was created when the city rebuilt on top of itself after the Great Seattle Fire of 1889. It's renowned for paranormal spirits thought to be the neighborhood's notoriously murdered and unrequited souls. In 1907, they closed up for fear of spreading. They closed the whole underground because they were afraid that the bubonic plague was going to be spread by rats.
Oh,
So they closed down the whole, and they built it. I believe they built it 2 stories above, on top of the old city.
Mhm.
It was
okay,
2
okay.
stories.
So are we like 1 story right now, Bo?
Yeah, I guess
No
that would
idea.
be it.
But I do know that you can take tours of all of this. You know,
Yes.
if you come to Seattle, you can take tours of all this underground shit.
And
but
I will say this, across probably on the bordering wall of the
Mexico.
well, actually
When I
no, 2
ride.
streets over, there's this place called Merchants, and I was down there in this was like 2 years ago, and it was the creepiest, most eerie feeling. And a buddy of
Yeah.
mine who went down there at like 3 a.m. to like drop off some stuff said something shoved him, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm
Holy.
just dropping off like this stuff. I don't mean you any harm." And then just fucking bounce.
let me go.
And now,
Yeah.
supposedly, the old bank is supposed to be the most haunted in the underground city of Seattle, or whatever. And there's 2 spirits that are supposedly known to be down in the underground. The first was Edward the bank teller. Edward worked at Scandinavian American Bank in the underground. He would take miners' gold and store it in the bank's vault. During a robbery, Edward was shot and killed along with a miner. Today, ghost hunters have reported Edward manifests by the vault. He has a handlebar mustache, wears a white shirt with suspenders, and a big black top hat. Edward is one of the few apparitions you'll meet. He'll also answer a few questions before he vanishes. Okay.
That's creepy.
The other spirit is
like, where can I get some blow?
the other spirit is apparently George Payne, the innocent man in 1882. A mad mob hung a couple of robbers for murdering George Reynolds. Unfortunately, they didn't stop with the 2 men and stormed the Seattle jail, where they found George Payne. The crowd pulled him from his cell and took him to Pioneer Square Park. Payne declared he had nothing to do with the robberies. The mob then hung him with the other 2 robbers. Today, you may see a shadowy figure hanging from a tree in the center of the park. Ghost hunters have captured EVP that says, "I'm innocent. You killed an innocent man."
Wow, that's fucking
creepy.
creepy.
And that's George Payne.
I wonder if any of them are racist.
I think that's probably just a homeless person trying to find some shelter.
So what we're going to do now is
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so we are going to
So, by the way,
go ahead.
and here's the other cool thing about what we're about to do is when you do these underground tours and shit, it's all pretty much connected, but it's, in other areas, they're barricaded off from each other. And so we're down here in the Comedy Underground, and there are sections of other, parts that you can't get to, like, through the tour, but you can access
And
just from underneath this club.
And I'll
So-
say this, I don't know if I'm allowed to, about somebody's experience.
Oh, yeah, do you want me to or you want
You can, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Can you say manager?
yeah, no, I mean, so the manager of the current manager of the underground here, he works late hours, and one night he was working late, and he was upstairs because, oh Jesus, there's people here
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, yeah.
working
I
right
just
now.
heard a
They're like-
scream, but no,
uh,
there's still somebody.
But he was upstairs working. He was here alone. There's
Nobody's
nobody.
here.
Nobody's here, and all he heard was maniacal laughing. Is the exact words he used down here in the comedy club
Like
in the Comedy
roars.
Underground. Yeah,
Like,
and he was like, yeah,
yeah.
it was the Joker. Fucking.
Yeah.
But yeah, which
and
he said it was fucking
Empty.
terrifying.
Yeah.
empty. The place
Yeah.
is empty.
Totally
Yeah.
empty. So what we're gonna do now is
Yikes. We're gonna go walk into those rooms.
And on top of that,
they just had a seance
they just
here.
had a seance in this one room that is creepy as fuck that we're going to show you guys.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna go through a few of the catacombs here in the underground, and for those listening, I don't know. I'll have to see how it sounds, but the audio may sound a little different because the audio may be coming from just the camera for this part. But we'll also try it on this. So And again, if you want to see all of this stuff, it's at youtube.com/BigIrishJ. And yeah, now let's get to some ghost hunting.
Please, God, don't let the black guy die first.
Just like
All right, this is the normal part of the underground stuff.
yeah. So found the underground bathrooms.
So there's a speakeasy, an old speakeasy that we're gonna go into right now. That's part of the old.
Yes.
And I think this is all original. As far as my understanding goes, so this like old school bar. A little creepy, all this old brick.
It's where they used to keep the people in cages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of cages, you got the bars over here. And then down in the hole there, that's where they
Ooh.
there's a little crematorium there. No, I don't know.
Was that all burnt?
No, I have no idea. But I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if these are original or not, but they might have reupholstered some of it.
That's kind of interesting that somebody just left a major liter of Coke.
It's an offering. All right. So now
Ghosts get thirsty.
They do.
we're getting into the.
So then it comes down a creepy hall.
So we're behind the stage of the Seattle Comedy Underground. It's all right here at the main stage.
What was that?
All right. So, is that door open before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Phil opened it.
Oh shit.
Yo,
The light just turned
dude,
on.
literally the light.
Are you
just
serious?
Fucking turned
The
off.
light just turned on.
Did you catch it?
It
No.
was on and it just turned off. I really wish you would have caught that.
I swear to God.
We were both looking at it.
Yeah.
There's like an orb in the. But I think
Okay,
it
let's
might be.
go.
All right. Well.
Let's go, Phil.
What the fuck?
Dude.
Oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
Scared.
Get the fuck out! I literally was like, do we
Look
leave
at
the
the door.
door?
Is the door moving around? So kind of like. Yeah, what's that back and
Did you hear the noise? Dude. Let's open it up.
Oh fuck off.
Fuckers!
Oh.
I had to do this. I'm so sorry. I'm back there. I'm like, I know she's
What's up?
I was like, I think I just fucking hurt you.
You know what? You know what? Hey, to their credit, I don't
Yes.
think I've ever seen Jay jump or flinch or scare or anything. They fucking got Jay.
Yes.
I hope that was on fucking camera.
That was.
It was priceless.
Motherfucker.
I don't know who screamed. Someone. She was all back there
What did
waiting.
you
I'm like,
scream?
no, waiting. I'm like, ah!
That was the scream. I said,
Yeah.
She wanted to
motherfucker.
Yeah.
tell someone we
I think I was like,
I
ah!
was going to wait for him to come in the door.
That was.
This is Chrissy and
Amy.
Amy.
And
They're
you
both
both,
staff.
have you, I know you said that you haven't really noticed anything. Have you ever had anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of shit. I've worked here for a long time, but like
What's
the
that fucking noise behind you right
The
now?
ice.
Oh.
There's a lot of old shit here. So.
yeah, it's like the jukebox. So and everyone's like, oh, people turn it on. No, it's like random ass times. The same exact song.
Really?
Same
Wait,
exact song.
So now is that upstairs or is that?
Upstairs.
Okay.
yeah. And just it'll be like midnight, 4 o'clock in the morning, just randomly.
Ooh,
Same song. There's not one person for 4 years playing the same song.
Yeah.
creepy.
That's
And
great.
then
Alright, we're gonna go to the other place.
Okay, will
Please
you
don't
lock
talk to
this
me.
behind me? I won't scare you.
Yeah.
If
Wait,
there's
the song that plays is.
Oh
Nirvana.
wait. Can I show the viewers what's
Oh,
in
yeah.
here
Yeah,
real quick?
I'll turn the light on. No, leave it
No,
on.
leave it off. Leave it. It's a little creepier.
For sure. Look at that wall. Fucking all burnt up.
Did you guys just run out and lock us in here?
Yeah, and the piping. All fucking creepy. Creepy.
That was fucking great.
Doorway to hell.
Yep.
Now, who's that back there that's moving? No.
Got the guy back there.
Oh, is that one?
Might be two guys.
There's nobody back there.
Not just one guy.
Why? Will you guys lock that when you go back?
Yeah.
Thank you. You can come back anywhere you want. Just, if you want to come this way, just go around the other way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
You got us.
Well, that was fucked up.
You see that moving?
Yeah.
Why is that moving?
Because it's on this and we stepped on that.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just thanking God I didn't drop the camera.
Oh,
Now, what is this? Is this
yeah,
the
here's some
original?
old creepy thing from. Look at like this. These people's faces are missing.
It's like Native American, huh?
Manny, we don't say that anymore.
Sorry.
What do we say?
Indigenous people.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a crazy picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was the original. This was the original level, the street level, which was down here, and then all this got built on top of.
Cool.
So. Yeah. And they built right on top of those people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that
Right
the
on top of their
camera.
bones.
Yeah.
We're just looking.
Man, when you guys said that light went off, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm glad it was them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we couldn't see them or anything. So what timing for them to know when to turn
Yeah.
the light off right as we go around the corner?
Yeah, when that light went off, I was like, bro.
You meddling kids.
Oh, what is that? Look over here at this stuff.
Oh,
You know, like the
another light.
drafties. You know, just the drafties looking at this stuff,
Bring it in here.
just kind of like flowing around.
Should we ask if Ed or George is here?
I'd rather not.
Hey George, are you here? Can you hear
This isn't the
anything?
bank though, is it?
No.
No, but here's like old pictures of
See if you get anything in the
City.
mirror.
Where's the mirror?
in the mirror.
Wait, what is this
No, but
picture?
these old barn doors too. They're kind of creepy. It's
That's
Tacoma.
that's Tacoma.
Those old barn doors. Those look creepy.
Gateway to something.
I thought I just saw some fucking.
Where's the mirror?
Over there. Heart attack.
Yeah. That woke us up.
All right, guys, I'm gonna try something. I learned this a long time ago. So if you look in a mirror and you say this shit, ready? Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
How about Candyman?
No.
Candyman.
What was it? Bloody?
Candyman.
I'm not even gonna fuck with.
Candyman.
How about Ed or George?
Let's go to this back part over here real quick.
All right.
Actually, I'll let you guys lead.
I don't think it's too much.
I feel like I heard something behind me.
Oh, it's just George.
Now, weren't you showing me? Here, open that real quick.
The laundry room.
But they had a weird.
Right, so that door was that pit over there.
Yeah.
Where we had the.
But if we go in, let's show them real quick that there used to be like a brewing or something.
Yeah, something's brewing.
I don't know how this all works. Scotch tequila rum.
Watch, it's like an illegal operation. We just got them caught up.
This is where they used to, during Prohibition, do bathtub gin.
All right, now we're gonna take you to the creepiest part.
Moonshine! And yeah, now we're going to go to hell. You just show people around the underground a little bit, I guess.
It's where the legendary.
Iconic. I thought they had been down here for a lot longer than I thought. I thought it was always down here. There's the stage. We hear like pipes like.
Right. Shout out to Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. For those of you who don't
idea
know,
if that's what that's referencing, but
there's. Yeah.
I do smell cigarettes.
Oh.
There should be no reason we smell cigarettes right now
Unless they're
Chrissy,
smoking.
Are you guys smoking? Is anybody smoking a cigarette?
Oh, okay. Thank God.
Well, we were just wondering if the ghosts Yeah, we wanted to go for
We were terrified.
All right, please don't fuck with us. We're going to the fucking worst place. This is the worst fucking
Hey,
place.
open this real quick.
Yeah, so this is. Oh, well, yeah, it connects back down there.
Oh, Jesus.
Stairs.
Spend the night there, Phil?
Oh, this is where they
That's
keep.
where Harry Potter grew up.
All right.
All right.
Now, oh, God, I'm not looking forward to this.
And this guy's an axe murderer. So here's the green room of the underground.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into the creepiest place.
I'll let you lead, Phil.
Besides the jump scare we just got for funsies, this is truly probably the creepiest thing to look at in here. So, so this room just kind of gives me like, this room right here just kind of gives me like creepy energy. Just this one alone.
Very cold.
Very cold. I don't know why it just feels weird in here, but it feels weird.
The energy, yeah.
And then we're gonna go into here. And
Jason.
Yep, I'm here.
okay, so they just recently did a seance in here. We're gonna see a Ouija board, and there's a wheelchair. When they first open it up,
Watch your step here, man.
oh, I'm just going here with this black. Oh, it's just too low.
All right.
Make sure you don't.
Make sure you don't lock us out.
Watch your step, man.
So, when they first got in here, when they first opened it up, they found a wheelchair. And they didn't touch it. They haven't touched it. The wheelchair's still here. And it's just facing the wall. And then look, yeah, they have the Ouija board. They came here recently and we're trying to call out to some people. So this is definitely the creepiest room by far. And I don't like it at all. I mean, look at that, just like that pipe dick hanging down over here. What is this?
So, should we try and see if George or Ed?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm getting weird fucking vibes.
Did you move that?
Yeah. Shh. I don't know. This corner right here is freaking me out though.
Go get in.
Should I go stand in it?
Yeah.
Like, just right down that corner. I feel really weird energy.
Hey, there's little orbs flying around.
Hello? Is anybody here? Make your presence known.
Guys, there's literally like little orbs on this fucking camera flying around.
Is it just dust?
It could be.
Whoa. I asked for somebody to make their presence known. The pipe just started making some
George or Ed?
more noise than it has. What's this shit here? I hear something. Well, I hear this, but
Sorry.
fuck, this is just so gross. Look up at the ceiling too. It's like half semicircles. I don't know. I mean, that's gotta be original. Did you see the ceiling?
Do you hear all that music?
Yeah. Is that the fucking thing upstairs?
I hope so.
The jukebox started.
Oh shit! Should
What
we
if
go?
you just do the flash and I just see somebody's face for a brief
Should we go
second?
check out the jukebox
Hold on, what was that? Oh, okay. That's just some fucking.
contraption? You guys want me to close the door with you in here?
Hold on, no. Hold on, let me don't move for a second. Fuck, keep that light in here, Manny. I just want to get the room.
Dude, it looks like hazy to me. Like I feel like I'm, you know, like when it's a real hot day out and you can see the little heat waves on the road and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or like when you have a fire going. And it just, I don't know. With my eyes, shit looks kind of hazy right now. I don't know what that is.
I'm up top, fucking just come creeping down.
It's just a fucking rat.
Let's go see if we can.
You're not pushing.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not fucking around, bro.
You don't want to just.
You gotta shut this.
You don't want to just go in there by yourself?
No, fucking I'm good.
Let's shut it off. That fucking doorway to hell.
Yuck. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
that was
know.
a creepy ass
That's
feeling.
some-
I don't hear any music now.
Yeah, I don't hear any music now either.
Okay.
Upstairs. There was definitely
Let's
music
ask
from inside
her again, Chrissy.
in the room.
All right, Chrissy. Question:
Were you guys just playing
was
music?
anybody playing music, or are they playing music upstairs?
Not downstairs.
Because
Maybe his room is up there. I don't know if he's out or did he tell you he's leaving?
I don't know. We can hear music from inside that creepy room though.
yeah, we could hear music, and then as
Go
soon as we came out.
upstairs and check back there. Just you're fine.
Okay.
Can
If
Fox
you
is
go
playing?
that way, around the corner, and
Oh.
upstairs. If you see Juan, he might be in the kitchen.
No,
Just
Juan's
go.
not here.
Okay.
Oh, he's not here, but if you do see him, it's Juan.
Okay.
He's Mexican, cook, short.
Cool.
How's a hook? She said this.
I'm waiting for Jay.
What's that? Well,
Ooh. I don't hear that music anywhere now. You guys gonna ask the dude to turn on the music?
Ed or George?
Could be.
If you're anywhere around.
yeah, it's some old brick.
All of that ass you carrying.
There's no music. No audio. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, but that's not loud enough to hear what we heard down there.
No, that
That's
was
not
literally.
music, that's TV.
Let's go over by the jukebox. Ed or George, you're here. Fire
Give
up
us
the
a
jukebox.
sign. Give us a sign.
Jukebox is right there.
So these ghosts know how to. These ghosts are 21st century. They're using Wi-Fi and shit.
Or is it upstairs?
I don't think it's like an old one, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Well, let's go upstairs real quick. Let's see what's up there.
Check this out. The third story.
All right, just thinking of the layout around here, there's no like bars that are connected directly to this that would be doing
Right,
music.
That's what I was trying to think. Yeah, but I don't see from where we were what that would be because everything else is like commercial in this building.
Ed or George, you're here. Place up.
Oh, what's this back here, guys?
Throw a dart.
In your head.
This is a fucking gas chamber.
Let's take a look.
This is called the chokey from Matilda, where you put somebody inside. And,
Oh, that's creepy.
All right.
yeah. I don't know what the fuck that is.
That won't be the last one out of here. Phil's behind me.
Ah.
Ed or George? Edward or George? Last chance. Make yourself known. You're here.
You just go back downstairs, all the furniture is rearranged.
Woo, woo. The gate closes and keeps me in.
Here's another mirror. There's George right there.
George.
Giorgio.
Ed or George? Last chance.
The dark spirits come out.
Okay, can we ask them if there was any like other building connected that would do music?
Yep. Okay, last question. We definitely heard music. It's definitely not coming from upstairs. Is there any other buildings that could be connected that we could have heard it from?
It's open.
And then we would also hear through the wall and all that shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, unless it's like Robert or
That
something.
green room is done. Like I sleep in there on game days. Like game on Saturday, I'll sleep over to I work Saturday morning. You can't hear the doors coming in. That'll be
Yeah, let's go see if it's still playing. I want to try to see if we can.
You're underneath the street.
Yeah.
Not room.
Yeah. We heard music though. We went back in though.
Can you see it above you?
Yeah, you guys are underneath the sidewalk right there. So it could be someone
Underneath the street, huh?
Yeah. Like you can look on that flashlight.
Okay. We should have that one.
You guys put it in.
So.
Wait, it was open.
Oh.
We left it. We had
Yeah.
Just shut it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
No, here. But the street is like all the way
Hey,
along.
what was it behind you?
Lion.
A picture.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
But hopefully it was just the.
Well, that's something we can't
But
explain, but.
that room is creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
There, and there's a pickaxe.
Oh God, we didn't even see the pickaxe.
You didn't see the pickaxe?
No,
No.
somebody's holding it behind us.
So the wheelchair's over here. The pickaxe is just leaning. It's an old ass
Oh,
rusted
in
ass
that
pickaxe.
corner?
Like not in the corner. Just up here.
Wow.
Oh shit, missed
Yeah.
it. I'm
It's
glad I
creepy.
didn't see it.
All right.
Probably would
Alright.
have used against me.
Do you guys want to?
Well,
Well, we'll finish up on that.
yeah.
Alright.
That was the Comedy Underground, Seattle.
And we're back. All right. So, for those, if you were just listening to the podcast instead of watching it, you really, I don't think describing it can do it justice as far as like how
Even just
creepy.
seeing it on like camera, I don't think you'll get the eeriness. Like I'll tell you this, even just filming it, I don't think I got the full eeriness of just being in there because I got to see it through a filter.
Sure.
But the first time we went in, like I felt like I was like, there's something deeply wrong with
you
this.
can feel the energies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a weird cold.
Yeah, and it's I mean the pictures I took are so creepy.
That's
looking.
true. Like in that room specifically, it's like this weird, like stale, biting cold.
Yeah.
Not like freezer cold, but just
Mhm.
like, just
Yeah.
frigid, like
Yeah.
fucking creepy.
It, well, okay. So there were quite a few things. Like I mean, I think that when the light went off was
That was
Sure, but that so
I should just edit it so that just like
yeah.
I'm hoping that even if it's not much to, you have to picture it with your mind. I'm hoping we're playing the audio too
yeah.
of us walking around, just because I think there's hopefully some stuff there
Well, yeah,
without having to use your.
Let's break down everybody's
Yes.
experience real quick. What was yours, Phil?
But I was just gonna say, I mean, that was probably
Actually, let's
Nobody's
not
ever-
spoil it. Just watch it. There's something that does happen.
Yeah.
but we're talking about this after.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Fucking
I
dummy.
was gonna say, well, if you're just listening to it, you should watch it.
Editing genius over here. No,
Do you want to start over?
No.
no, I was just saying. So that jump scare. I mean, that was. Look, it was some people playing around on us, but let me tell you right now, 100%, 120 million% true. Honest to God, we did not set anything up with
Oh
them.
no.
No.
They did
They
that
got us.
on
That was
their
fucking
own.
great.
They were like, they want to do a haunted little podcast.
Yeah.
They know that there's little haunted. So this one side of the bar, it actually has this little opening that goes back into the very back hallways that we were walking in. So we're walking in that hallway, and we come around the corner to where a door is, and the door is cracked open, and we see the light inside on.
Me and Phil do.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Manny's focused on filming
I'm focused on you guys, and I wish I had caught the door with
And
the
we
light.
both look over towards the door, and at the exact same moment, we see the light go off.
Yes.
Creepy as fuck.
It would have been, what would have been dope is if they didn't scare us after that. They just left.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah,
and
yeah.
then we just were just sitting in
Was that? Yeah. And so then we're like,
Thought I heard something.
There's a
Not
creak
that,
of a
I
door,
thought I
but
heard
no.
something over there.
So then we start walking back to, we start walking towards the door, and we're walking kind of slow just to be like, what the
Yeah.
what did this happen?
And
on
it's
its own?
pitch black, the
Yeah,
opening.
inside, yeah, and you can't see anything, and then we hear a rustle, and we're like, the
Wilson?
fuck? We are in Seattle, baby. Go Hawks! And so then, all of a sudden, we just, bah! And the
Yeah.
door flies open, and look. Jay is 6'8", and he weighs right around 2 much. Yes.
3 much.
And I didn't, I thought I'd seen everything, but
I yelled motherfucker, which you probably all hear.
I don't know if you've ever seen Dumbo, but at the end of it, Dumbo flies, all right?
What the fuck?
What a weird
What
ass
has this turned
reference.
into?
All I'm trying to say
What
is
the fuck?
I've
Phil?
seen everything, but I ain't never seen Jay fly. But I did today.
I see no butterfly.
Oh,
Okay.
I was doing the crow, but maybe you should have done the crow. Anyway,
I
that's
wish
some
you were doing
racist shit right
the
there.
Brandon Lee crow, and you died.
Oh God.
I will say this. For me, like actually before we went and shot this, like me and Jay just had to piss, right? And we hit.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
we hit the bathroom, like, and all of a sudden out of nowhere we hear this.
Yeah.
And we're
So
like-
the bathroom's shaped in an L. Like you come in, and then it angles to the right where the sink is and everything. To the left is the stalls and the urinals. And so we both peed, and we are both over washing our hands. And back by the entrance, it sounded almost like
Somebody tore paper.
yeah,
or
tore
that-
paper or like plastic or
Right,
something.
or like
Or
there's these little
aerosol.
like freshener things.
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
like, but you have to push down on it for it to go,
yeah,
and make that spray sound.
we did, and I thought you were fucking with us. I
Yeah.
thought you were
No, I
outside
wasn't-
the
yeah.
bathroom.
but
fucking with
I
us.
didn't even hear the door open. And you
Funny,
could-
yeah, because I was just over here in the green room.
Yeah.
That's
Now-
creepy.
Now this fucking dungeon over here on the right.
Yeah, the
here's
death room.
here's my question for both of you.
Yeah.
What is the number to spend the night there? 8 hours by yourself.
Oh.
By yourself,
By yourself. Door shut.
door
In-
shut,
in the
pitch
dark.
black.
Yeah. All right. Maybe no. Because I think it's even. I think it's even scarier to have just a flicker, like a candle.
Oh, fuck off.
A candle.
And do you have to stay up or do you get to go to sleep?
You have to be in there for 8 hours, starting at 11 p.m.
Ooh.
I'm bringing my earplugs and I'm bringing my blindfold mask and I'm going to fucking bed.
Jesus.
could?
Huh?
I don't
you
even think I
could?
could go to bed.
I could not.
I
I'd be
mean-
freaking the.
Yeah, I
what's
don't
the-
know.
what's
My
the-
mind-
What's the dollar amount?
For 8 hours, yeah, I'd probably do it for like $500.
Fuck off.
I will give you $500 right now.
Really?
You spend the night there.
8 hours from 11
We'll get you in
p.m.
the morning.
Okay, maybe a few more dollars than that.
I was gonna say for me $2 million.
Yeah. I'm
Really?
like,
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe $2,000.
$2,000.
Shit, even $2,000. I don't know if I just
dude.
mentally I don't. So they say when you go into the hole in prison, you start to lose your mind
Right.
from being in the dark so long. And I'm just like, one, I don't think I can mentally be in the dark that long.
Dude.
But then two, knowing that there's a Ouija board in there. Three, knowing that there's a wheelchair and a
I think
pickaxe.
knowing where I'm at and knowing what's in the room might be the part that fucks with me. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I would just try to keep my eyes closed the whole time and just try to not
even
think about where I
then
am.
mentally, I think. Or how much would it cost for you to sit in the wheelchair?
For
Wait.
8 hours.
8 hours and facing that wall.
Facing the wall, right
holding
where
the
it's
Ouija
at.
board.
Yeah, they said
Holding-
they've never moved that wheelchair, so it is still where they found it. Who knows
That's
how many years ago?
What if somebody was
What if
punished and they
What
were
if we
just
did
had
move?
to-
We should have moved the wheelchair just to try to fuck with
Ooh,
them.
fuck
What if
off.
somebody was punished and their punishment was they were in a wheelchair and they just put them facing the wall and that's how they died?
Ooh, that- a new
Never
movie
got back
idea.
up.
Dude.
Yeah,
Ugh.
So your
Yikes.
number is $2 million
$2 million.
and yours is
I'll take $2,000.
$2,000.
I don't
What would
even
you do
like.
it
I don't
for,
even
Jay?
like being like my back to this shit right now. Like
I
it's-
don't, because it's like
I'm glad I can see it.
as
Yeah.
yeah, as much as I would love the money, I don't, dude. It's almost like
The sanity.
yeah, like
I think that would break me.
I'll do almost anything for some money, man.
Yeah.
I'll
I don't know.
I'm a dirty
Yeah,
suck
dog.
a ghost dick.
What about you, Jay? What's your dollar
Man,
amount?
I'm trying to think if there is a number because I'm like,
Even 2 million. Like, can you imagine if like Bill Gates was like, "Oh yeah, I got 2 million for you." That was them.
No,
No,
there
that
was
was
something
in
in
here.
here.
It was like sticky sounding.
Yeah, or like something
Like-
dropped, like a little
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Edward,
I'm good.
Anyway,
George.
I'll pass.
touch Manny's butthole.
No,
if you're
thank
here.
If you,
Um,
the ghosts are more than welcome to get Phil, but Jay's staying with me this week, so
it might be a mill. Yeah, it might be a mill or two. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm like actually trying to think of doing that. Like you fucking visualize that, Phil. We're walking you in there. You're in there. You're looking at us, and we're like, all right, Phil, 8 hours. Here's a candle, and then you just slowly see that door shut, and it just goes fucking
Ooh,
dark. And then all
Jesus,
you
that
have is
just-
your the little flat candle flickering, and your mind is gonna fucking play tricks on you. Did I just see a shadow over there?
But I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I'm closing my eyes, man.
But
I'm not looking at
then
that
you
shit.
hear something though.
But I guarantee you that
Earbuds.
you can't close your eyes that long,
Yeah.
as much as you,
You
want
feel
to.
a breeze on your face.
A breeze. You're-
Oh God.
Yeah, you're hearing
Fuck that.
you're hearing footsteps because you're next to the street,
You're gonna hear your heartbeat in your fucking ear.
and also just being
Ugh.
alone with your mind for that
Dude.
long.
Yeah, I don't know,
That's- yeah.
dude. That's fucking.
I couldn't.
I'd have to really see the money in front of me to be like, this is the amount.
Yeah,
it
it might
would
be
be up there.
9 million.
Dude, it's fucking. I mean, you know, you survive and everything, but geez, you're set. But all right.
Yeah.
So I guess we should wrap this up with.
Well, let's do this. Haunted or debunked?
Oh, I mean, as far as out of all three places, well, I definitely got some. I wish we could have got closer to the high school. I wish we could have went inside the high school,
Yeah.
but
I wish we.
I
had the
could
money.
tell it was evil. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
I wish we had the money to do like
A
we
real
had
ghost
a
hunt.
ghost hunting show where just us comics we go. You know, you give us different places. Oh, you said we had email too, by the way.
Yeah.
You want to hit?
But I would,
Alright,
I will
yeah.
say, as far as Manny's point, I don't know. Nothing really happened, but I will say that you saw in the video. It's true. I got towards that corner, and it was like the whole hairs on your neck raising up, like shivers down the spine. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there
I
was
just thought of
something there.
I just thought of something else. Both of you guys were not there for when we did the Queen Mary ghost hunting thing episode, which we released I think last week or whatever. But how we heard music in there, and then we came out, and as soon as we walked out, you couldn't hear any
Nothing.
music.
Yeah, the music stopped.
Now, when we did the Queen Mary, there's one room in particular that supposedly is haunted, and they've now nobody can rent it out. They just locked it up.
Really?
When we walked to that room, we went there at like 4 a.m. because it was Halloween at the time, and they had like the thing where everybody runs through and everything. So we went where it was quiet when it was quiet. So we went there at bless you. We went there at 4 a.m. and when you stood in one spot, you would hear like. But if you took a step like in any direction from this one spot, none of us would hear it. But we all heard it in this one spot. It was fucking weird.
Wait, did the song go? It's you.
It's you. No, but it was so.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a little
that
unnerving.
reminds me of that. Like we all heard music in there as soon as we
For
walked
sure.
out.
I don't know if the camera picked it up. I hope it did, but there was for sure a melody of some type
Yeah.
of music playing. Felt like it was coming from the ceiling. It could have definitely just been
In the street or some car.
whatever is above that we don't know. But otherwise, we asked the staff if there was anything that could have been.
We
you
went to
know.
the TVs. The TVs
They
weren't
said
up really.
nothing. Yeah, we went
Yeah, the
upstairs.
jukebox didn't.
So that was a little creepy, and that unexplained. I would say, as far as not having anything to contradict it. Contradict?
Contradict?
Contradict
or, no,
it?
ca-
Yeah,
counter.
contradict,
Yeah.
not counterdict.
Or
To
counter.
get a male
contradict.
whorehouse.
Yeah, I mean, that's unexplained to me. So
So to me, I would say this place was definitely haunted. I mean, I didn't really experience anything. I mean, the bathroom thing was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But I will say to know that Robert was here, nobody's here, and you just hear roarous laughter. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
and also feel the feeling of the energy. The energy is definitely.
Yeah, it's cold, it's dark, it's damp. It's like, just that room alone is like, and I hope they didn't open anything up, like some parallel
with the Ouija shit.
with the Ouija
yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
So what about you, Jay?
I think there's something here from all the stories I've heard through the years from multiple people that I trust and believe I don't think they wouldn't. I know they don't just make shit up.
Right.
From their experiences, and then and you know, maybe it's their mind playing tricks on them because you know, but it wasn't my mind playing tricks on me that I heard music because we all heard it.
Right.
And we both heard some shit in the bathroom.
Right.
When we were in there, we just weren't filming when we were
Totally.
pissing there because we don't have wide angle lenses for our dicks. What? All right.
Oh God.
So fan mail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, since we do have a couple regular podcast items to get to, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for You've Got Mail. And this week, we have something kind of sweet that was written towards me, but only because we were talking a lot about, we were talking about me coming down and comedy, and I was talking about being depressed a little bit. And so Michael didn't tell me not to read this, and it's not really that heavy,
Michael.
but let me get into it. Michael G.
Oh, yeah.
So subject line, your
Quit comedy.
depression. No, your depression. So Michael says, and thanks, Michael, for sending this in. And by the way, if anybody else wants to send us any email, they could do so as well.
Where would they send it?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, Jay, because they could send it to hwppod@gmail.com.
Wait. So that's like HWP for HollingsWorthless Podcast plus pod
Yeah.
at gmail.com. HWPpod at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Yes. Okay. So Michael says, Phil, I know how you feel, man, about depression. If you move here, speaking about LA, please go balls deep into comedic acting. I paused a little bit too long there, maybe. I remember that during the original incarnation of the HollingsWorthless podcast, you said that you wanted to be like a comic relief in movies or TV or web series of some sort. And there is really absolutely no reason to move here to do stand-up, Michael says. As you know well, it's soul-crushing. It's a soul-crushing shithole for amateur comics. New York's a stand-up mecca. This place is a very poor imitation. I wish you well, Michael. Thanks, Michael. And, I mean, Michael's not wrong.
No,
I mean,
thanks,
we talked
Michael.
about it, and I was saying if I went back down there, I would want to do acting classes. I would want to do improv. I would want to do a bunch of other stuff. So, I mean, that is the place to try to break into other avenues of entertainment versus just stand-up. And it's true. If I just wanted to do stand-up, part of me really would want to move to, like, New York or even Boston and just get really good at that. But
I think that's kind of all of us, though, right? We kind of just want to get into comedic acting and use
me
that.
personally, I mean, my and one of my like when you see yourself like at the height of who you are in your life.
6'8".
Yeah, it's getting to act and do movie stuff.
And that's the thing. It's like, I'll be real with you guys. I don't want to be the 65 to 75-year-old comic in a club still trying to make money. It's like, I would rather us be making...
Bill Cosby's in a cell now, but yeah.
But, I think that's the thing. It's like comedic acting, whatever form of acting, and then you use those credits to sell out whatever shows you want to do.
Did I ever tell you, I know Phil, I told Phil the story. Did I ever tell you my story about the club and the old guy?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude. This is fucking terrifying. This is the scariest thing to me. So...
Yeah.
I won't say the club just because it doesn't matter, but I'm at a club that I'm trying to get in, right? I did a guest spot. I had a really good guest spot, and also on the show was a older guy that did a guest spot, and the manager's there. So I'm in the green room with the manager and the other guy that did a guest spot. That's older guy, right? So I'm talking to the manager. And he's like, "Great, we're gonna have you back." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Oh, that's great." And I'm looking forward to it. As we're talking, all of a sudden the other guy interrupts the conversation and goes, "Hey, well, what about me? I'm local, and what about me?" And the manager, he's like, I mean, I don't know what I can do with you. He's like, I can't really have you host because your energy. And he goes, I think I'm good to the older guy. And keep in mind, I'm just now in this room, being a part of witnessing all this. And he goes, I think I'm good to you older guys, but he's like, I just don't know if I can use you. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, dude, is this me in 15 years?
Oh,
and
boy.
that was the fucking most terrifying thing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Dude, and so I was just like, holy shit, man. It's fucking terrifying. Now, the flip side of that, I am one of those people where I don't want to be struggling at at 65, 70, whatever, but I want to do stand up like Don Rickles till the day I die, you know. But ideally, arenas or selling out places. But dude, that was like fucking heartbreaking and terrifying and all that.
Yeah.
That is yikes.
Did you say we had a second email though?
No, that was it. So
Okay.
that was, you just got mail. And now I was keeping with the theme though. I did
Yes.
want to ask. I did want to ask a question because I've been thinking about this a lot, and I've been watching a lot of horror movies, and I want to know where you guys think you would, in like, let's say it's one of those teen angst horror movies or something like that, and you're in it, but it's real life or whatever the fuck, I don't know. But where do you think you die? Do you think you die between first and last, and making it
I
safe
die
at the end of the movie?
I die in the first encounter because I can't run. So so I have to take my chances with trying to fight somebody.
So you're one of the first to die.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Manny?
I'm the main fucking character, baby. I'm going last.
No, you're black.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
But here's
you'll
the
be
thing.
right there with me.
I always think.
But
that
it's
I
going to be
could-
directed by Donald Glover.
Yeah.
And,
Okay,
Yeah. I mean,
so we won't even be in the movie,
No, yeah.
yeah.
or we'll be the killers.
Yeah.
Based in Atlanta.
Yeah, if Jordan, whatchamacallit?
Jordan Peele?
Yeah, Jordan Peele is like directing the shit. Like, I'm fucking, I'm going all the way to the end. You
I
know what I
like
mean?
it.
Like, I feel like I can outrun people. I feel like I'm not gonna be that idiot standing around.
You can
know?
you outsmart the
Yeah,
the
you
bad
know, and
guy.
I'm not gonna be trying to help people that are, you know what I mean? It's like self-preservation at this point. I mean, I'm gonna help Jay, you know what I mean? But Phil, maybe. Not.
I literally would be like, Manny, run! I can't keep up. Save yourself. I'll try and delay him as long as I can.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm dying either second or third.
I'll
I'm
be
dying,
first.
I'm dying early.
Yeah.
So the way I would die is like, let's say the Jay just can't get a move on.
I'm gonna be trying to fight the guy.
The guy, and the guy slashes him up or whatever. And me, I just already know with how like horrified I would be. I would just stop in my tracks, be staring and screaming.
Can I tell you how you would die?
Yeah, I would be. Well, I would just be like, no, and then he would be like, idiot.
I really think the way you would die is somebody's gonna offer you a blowjob and you'd be like, oh, cool, and it's like jab, 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 jab.
Or he
right?
offers one.
no, no.
Well, I will say, like,
I'll offer
this
some
is-
cunnilingus.
so since you got to ask one, has anybody ever had like a weird ghostly experience?
A lot of family members in my family have. My mom's side of the family has had a lot of weird stuff. So my mom, when I don't remember how old I was, but my mom, I never met my mom's dad.
Mm-hmm.
He was an immigrant from Ireland, did a lot of great things with his life and everything. I never got a chance to meet him. And my mom, growing up, I don't really remember her talking about him that much. Grandparents, I always thought of was my dad's parents.
Mm-hmm.
Those are who my grandparents were.
Right.
So one night, just randomly, my mom gets up at like 4 or 5 in the wakes up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Not only wakes up, decides to go up into the attic of the house, pull out all these old pictures and newspaper articles and stuff, and just starts spreading them around the living room and is looking at them. And then she got a call like 2 or 3 hours later. Your dad passed away last night in Ireland.
Man, I'm telling you, I think that we're
crazy.
all like spiritually like connected that way. They said that there have been people who literally, there was a lady who died and her sibling was on the other side of the world and was like, oh, I could see blah, blah, blah. And they were like, no, you can't, and then literally they got a call a few minutes later that she was dead. And then that person who saw them died. So, but I'll tell you this.
Well, I had some others.
Was that?
I had a
Oh,
couple
okay, go
others.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll do them quick.
No,
My mom's sister, one night she woke up and she wakes her husband up and she's like, do you hear that? And he's like, what? He goes, I hear our daughter, we'll say her name was Sarah. I hear Sarah keeps saying, mom, mom. So she gets up, goes into her bedroom, nobody's there, goes back to bed. Wakes up again, wakes her husband up. You don't hear that? Sarah's calling for me. Goes in the bedroom, nobody there, goes back to bed. 6 a.m, knock on the door, it's the sheriff. Your son and daughter were in an accident. They drove off a cliff. They're in the hospital right now, but she was calling for you.
Holy shit.
And last one, my grandmother. Did you ever meet my grandmother?
Mm-mm.
Did you meet my grandparents?
I don't
Was it the
think so,
racist
no.
one?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just playing. I'm just
No, that's my dad. No. So my grandmother, my buddy Ray. Did you ever meet Ray Breen from Ireland? Well, we were roommates for a while, but Ray met her, and she was. So my grandmother, she was 92, I think, when she passed away. And I think Ray met her when she was like 90. And the thing he took away after meeting her was like, dude, she is sharp as a whip. Like she didn't know, she was sharp. She didn't lose any of her mentality or whatever as she got older. So when my grandfather passed away, my grandmother's legs, her right one bowed out really bad, and she was always in pain. And my dad and my uncle wanted to put her in a home, but she was stubborn, and she was like, no, I'll just deal with the pain because she wants to be independent, which I got both sides of it. I get it. So one night, my grandmother would stay up late. She falls asleep on the chair in the living room, and she wakes up, and she said in front of her was my grandfather, but like 30 years old, in his police uniform.
Wow.
And she was like, she goes, Jay? And he looked at her and he goes, yeah, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. And she said he just like dematerialized.
Wow.
And so
That's fucking crazy.
yeah. So those are like the three, three creepy things.
Totally. Phil?
I
Succubus?
no, I do have one, but to piggyback off of that, my grandpa, my great grandma, and my great grandpa, all when they were getting ready to die, I think there's something for that DMT or whatever that. Well, DMT is the drug, but what it does, that chemical that it releases, is supposedly some thing that only gets released when you're ready to die because it makes it painless. It takes away the pain. It makes you unaware of what's really going on. And all three of them, just like that. Well, maybe not quite that touching, but they all saw weird shit. My grandpa, I remember, he kept saying he saw like some fucking guy dancing by the window, like outside, like teasing him almost, like
Devil.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate to tell you where your grandpa ended up.
But he's like, there's some fucking guy dancing outside the window. Like, tell him to stop or get him out of here. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
And then great grandma, she would she did suffer from dementia or whatever. But she would keep like thinking that I can't remember who she thought that she was seeing, but she would keep on like saying, hey, there's that guy standing over there, get him out of here, he's what's he doing in the house, and it's like, what the fuck, there's nobody in there.
Yeah.
And she would start just like talking to you like it was fucking 50 years ago, all of a sudden, which was very weird. And then great grandpa, I guess.
I know. I just in the mirror.
Yeah.
I just keep seeing the sided face of that thing.
Oh, creepy.
Oh,
as
yeah.
fuck.
Terrifying.
I also feel like I kind of see the fog or the streaks on the mirror
Yeah.
kind of keep shaking different shapes, but I think that's just my mind playing tricks on me.
Right.
So anyway, as far as like a ghost thing goes, I used to babysit these kids in the house behind the house we lived in, and the house was probably 1920s, something like that, very old house. And I remember going upstairs into the kids' bedroom, and they had a walk-in closet. And for whatever reason, that walk-in closet, just looking at it, gave me some fucking heebie-jeebie, creepy weepies, dude.
Oh.
And I wouldn't want to go in there. I wouldn't want to fucking anything,
Yeah.
And then across the hall was like a baby's room or something. And I just remember that I was downstairs, and there's no piano or anything upstairs. And I'm watching like TV, and I hear just ting.
Ooh.
Just one like little note, like from a
Creepy.
piano, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fuck is that, dude? And I think I may have heard it a second time. I can't remember, like another hour or two later. And I was just like, the fuck, And come to find out, years later, after like those
Here we go.
people who are about to move out, we're talking to them, and there was an old woman that used to live there before them who had a piano upstairs, no longer
Creepy.
there. And she didn't die in
She
the
only
closet.
knew one note.
Yeah. she didn't die in that closet, but that might have been her bedroom across the hall, and just I don't, that spirit might still kind of just have energy in
Maybe
that
she was a
closet or whatever. Why would she be a lesbian?
She had to come out of the closet.
Stupid. All right.
Oh yikes! But yeah, so
Manny's got one good.
Well, I've got a few, but I'll tell them real quick.
And I'll tell you one other one about Matt.
All right. So my sister, my mom also had the same thing. When my sister was riding in a car with a friend, they crashed into a median, and my mom swore to fuck you. Jay's looking behind me like there's a fucking monster.
Oh.
My sister crashed into a median with this other girl, and she screamed, and my mom woke up and was like, "Is Leah okay?" And then she got a call a little bit later, and she was all right. But
Damn.
that scream. But my dad, when he was
Thank
growing
God
up,
it wasn't an extra large.
I know, right? What the fuck is it?
What'd she crash into?
The fucking median. Oh, I see what you did there.
Yuck.
My dad, when he was
I can't help it. I can't
so
help
funny.
it.
It's
my
so
dad, when
stupid.
he was a kid, lived in this old house, and he was probably 4 or 5. Kept seeing this old white man in the house, and he kept telling my grandma and my grandpa about it, and my grandma and grandpa went talked to the neighbor next door and was like, who lived here before us? And they were like, oh, it was an old white man, and
He was
literally,
racist.
yeah, it probably was.
They're like, oh, that's our reparations.
Yeah, exactly.
He works for us now.
So there was that. And then I think I've already told you guys, and I don't know if I've said it on the HollingsWorthless podcast, my family just has crazy premonitions. But
Oh, yeah.
my mom had a dream about one of us getting hit by a fire truck and little kids' shoes being in the crosswalk, right? And she told us, please be careful crossing the street. So one morning, we get up and go to church. This is weeks later. And I step on the back of my sister's shoe. Her shoe comes off. I bend down to pick it up. Lady floors it through the intersection. I try to jump out of the way, and this lady runs over my leg in front of church. It bends, but
What?
it doesn't break.
What the
Right? My
fuck?
leg bends, but doesn't break. I'm 9
Yikes.
years old, screaming in the crosswalk. My mom's crying. Across from church was the fire department. They put me in the back of the fire truck, took me to the hospital, and my mom saw the truck going on the street and the little kid's shoe in the road, right?
Wow.
So there was that. My aunt had this nightmare. She runs into my mom's room because she used to live with us. She's probably about 19 at the time. She was like, oh my God, I just had a dream that I lost my leg and it felt so real. And my mom was like, it's just a nightmare. Don't worry about it. Go back to sleep. A few months later, she's dieting poorly, just drinking water, not eating. They have a train system in the Bay Area called BART. She's standing on the platform, faints, falls over onto the track. The train severs her leg.
Oh, my
She
God.
survived, but there was the
Your
thing.
aunt?
Yeah, my aunt.
No kidding.
Yeah. Final thing, I'll tell you this. My dad.
Boy, those prices in San Francisco, let me tell you.
What do you mean?
Just
They cost you an arm and a leg.
boom.
I'm so angry.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, where the fuck how can he put this together? God
was
damn you.
That was great.
Oh.
No, it was just a leg.
I will say this. The craziest thing is, do you guys know about the shadow people?
Oh, yeah.
We've seen them on
Black
Nuke's.
people.
Yeah. We've seen them on Nuke's Top 5.
Yeah,
right? So anyways, when I was a kid, when I was 3 or 4, my dad used to help me. Fuck you guys. For those of you who can't see this on the podcast, they keep acting like something's behind me because the fucking door that we just
To hell.
Yeah, to hell
Yeah.
is right behind me. But when I was a kid, my dad used to help me. He used to have night terrors, so he used to come home at night after retail and sleep behind me to keep me safe, right? And it's kind of helped me fall asleep and was like, hey, I'm here, bud. Don't worry about it. And then he would go to sleep with my mom. So one night, it's probably 3, 4 in the morning. I'm like, oh, cool, Dad's here. He's sleeping behind me. I turn over. It's fucking pitch black. It's this pitch black entity.
Sorry, I'm freaking out over here.
The fuck was that?
I'm getting possessed over here. It's fine.
Oh my God. So it was a pitch black entity that looked just like my dad, but it wasn't him. So I get up, scream, run to my parents' room. My dad's
What?
sleeping in the bed next to my mom. And I don't know if time works like this. I've told Jay my theory that everything's happening at once. That's why you have deja vu and sometimes you hear stuff. So the piano, that timeline is existing on top of our timeline, which we're existing on top of somebody else's timeline. So everything is, sometimes you get reverberations in time. But my thing
Is that where white people pay back black people?
Yeah, exactly. So here's
Oh, no.
here's my thought process. Once you're dead, if we're just comprised of energy, right, and electricity and all that shit, you can't destroy energy, so your energy goes somewhere. and you don't have to exist in time. You can exist in other places, right? So maybe that black entity was my dad being like, hey, bud, I just want to let you know I'm sorry for not being here all the time, because he was kind of a ho-ho and didn't show up all the time. But anyways, what's your final story?
Oh, so I won't say the person's last name because I'm sure he probably doesn't care, but just it's his story. So maybe I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
One of my and if you listen to this podcast, you'll already know who it is. But my buddy Matt, you met Matt, and you met Matt and Mark. Anyways,
I don't know.
they so they lived down the street from my grandparents. They're two of my oldest, dearest friends. They're like family. Their dad was the pastor at a church in Oregon, and when he first moved, Matt doesn't know about or he doesn't remember any of this. His family has told him this. When he first moved to this state to become the pastor at this church, he said one night, and they told Matt this, one night Matt just walked into the living room. He was supposed to be in bed.
Dude, I feel like I'm seeing like lights flicker, like moving around the walls over
you
there.
Demon conjuring. Let him finish the
Fucking
fucking
orb
story.
shit. I'm sorry. I just, I'm like,
Well, we'll be
look
gone
over
after
against
this.
that.
Okay,
wall
yeah,
of
we're going
fucking
after
corner.
this.
Sorry, my
So,
bad.
so Matt, again, Matt was supposed to be asleep. I think he was like 4 or 5. He's really young. And he just walked into the living room, like however late at night. And his dad was like, Matthew? And I guess he just looked at him and then just ran at him, screaming, trying to hit him and like, going crazy. And his dad said, hold him down, hold him. And then he went outside the house, and I guess to bless the house or something, he's like, I don't know the terms or whatever for the religion, but basically was like, I rebuke you demons in the name of Jesus. I'm not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Matt was fine after that.
Man, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And, obviously a demon is going to go after a pastor's family,
Totally,
he
yeah,
could.
yeah.
You're not
And
going to
you
go
go
after the field? Going to go after the pastor?
Oh my God. Well, what's your worthless of the week?
Yeah.
That
So,
last one,
hey, yeah. Now it's time for Worthless of the Week. There we
Well,
go.
first I wanted to say to both of you guys,
Yeah.
much like Tom Brady says about football, I have
Oh.
unconditional love for you guys.
I have
Huh?
unconditional love for you two.
Tom
fucks.
Brady says
You know who
football
I don't
is
have?
unconditional love.
You know who I don't have
That's
unconditional
like
love for?
so-
Tom Brady. Yuck.
Oh God.
My worthless of the week. I would say my worthless. Oh,
Can I start?
yeah. I
All
think I
right.
know who I'll be.
All right. My worthless of the week is Ouija boards. Why? Why would you try to like conjure up anything? Like, why would you disturb anything? Like, we want these like souls to be at peace. I don't want them to be upset. You know what I'm saying? I want them to
valid.
like go to heaven. Go to heaven. You don't have to be here. Go to the light,
Sure,
like they
sure.
say in.
Maybe you could
like,
help him cross over with the Ouija board.
Well, I don't think you will. I think you're just disturbing them. Like, why would you? Like, even when you're in my car, please don't try to conjure
Yeah.
up the devil.
Yeah.
Why do you think you can help me with my problems getting to heaven?
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Excellent.
I don't know.
But anyways, that's my worthless of the week. Don't play with the other side. Like, why?
I got my worthless, and you're
Yeah.
gonna love it.
All right, go for
My
it.
worthless of the week is people that I guess you would describe it as think they're doing friendly heckling or positive heckling.
Ugh.
Our show, was it Saturday or Friday show? That
Friday.
dude,
Friday show.
that guy to the left.
Yeah.
So you're doing your jokes.
Who,
and
by the way, was like a fan, like enjoying the
Yes.
show.
And he came to the Thursday show.
Yeah.
Oh, he
but-
came to 2?
Came to 2 shows.
Oh, wow.
Wait,
he was-
did he really?
Well, I'll tell you this. He was having a
If he's
whole.
listening to this, sorry.
Jesus. Like, we appreciate you being there, but like, you're having a whole conversation with your table in the front row.
That, and then also like commenting on every punchline. Like instead
Yeah.
of just laughing or enjoying it, like, you do a punchline, and mayonnaise sandwich. He's, oh, mayonnaise sandwich, man, mayonnaise sandwich. That's
Yeah.
right, man.
It's
You're
like
right.
he thinks
about
he's
me.
at home talking to the
Dude.
TV.
Yeah.
And it gets distracting. I think I said to him, I was like, you want to come up and do some time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sorry. Now, one positive he did is it's so funny too because he was talking through most of the show, but he shushed the table behind him for talking
yeah.
at one time. He goes shh,
Yeah.
like really loud, and I was like, so that's my.
I'm the only one that can disturb the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's in general. That's my worthless of the week is when you're doing a show and like somebody is It's I say that it's like they're doing colored commentary. They're not black,
Jesus
but
Christ.
yeah, color, not colored. I said colored commentary. You did. Color commentary. Jesus Christ, color commentary. It's like they're doing color commentary on your jokes, it gets distracting. It fucks up your time. A guy even asked me after the show. He goes, "Does that bother you when people are like heckling?" And I tell him, I was like, "It just most comics I know we have like ADD when we're on stage, and it fucks up your rhythm because you're like." Wait, what? What are you fucking saying now?
And to those of you who have never done comedy, it's almost like you have 3 dialogues going on in your head. It's like, okay, this is what's coming up. This is what's happening now. And you're kind of like, your other ADD is kind of just listening to the rest of the crowd.
Right,
and when
right.
that gets
Tuning
it's
in.
like, yeah, I'm like, oh, fuck. So.
That's good. That's a good way of putting it. I haven't heard that. I'll do a worthless and worthy.
You're set?
My worthless would be bombing. It sucks to bomb.
You know what? I'm going to actually say that's also a worthy.
I know that you would say that because you learn from it, and I get that. I also know that one way of looking at bombing that I always, and it has a lot to do with what you're saying, Jay.
It's the audience's fault?
No. But you
You're
would
good.
feel so bad after having to bomb, and to me, to try to look at it as a positive has always been, well, it's not that you feel bad or that, you're not good. It's that while you were going through that experience, you were learning so much. You were being overwhelmed and bombarded with information that you didn't know how to process properly. That's why the bomb kept on happening or did happen. And now, all of this information is inside of you, and you're still overwhelmed, so you don't know what to do with it, and it freaks you out, and you feel like shit until you think about it, process it, and figure out, what you can do to prevent that from happening again. So
Totally.
that's kind of how I
And what's your worthy?
look at bombing. And then worthy, unfortunately, this is going to be a day late and $1 short, but worthy is voting, man. Tuesday is get out the vote, man. It's not a big election, but this podcast doesn't necessarily slant left or right as much as we can help it. But it matters, and if you want things to be
Look at responsive Phil.
Just saying, if you want things to be a certain way, man, you got to go out there and you gotta
Don't
put
be one of those
fill in those bubbles.
Yeah, don't be one of those complaining motherfuckers and then don't vote.
Right, or just be like, oh, it's all fucked anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, guess what? If it ends up going in the way that you didn't want it, now you have,
our language almost wasn't English and it was based on one vote. Pretty interesting.
Really? Our language?
I think it was one vote also that Portland, Oregon was named Portland instead of Boston.
Crazy.
It was,
Huh.
Do you know that? It was
No.
going to be called Boston. They already had Boston in Massachusetts,
Right.
but they were going to call
Another.
Portland Boston. I think it was one vote. They decided to go with Portland.
Well, so anyway, man, voting is worthy, very worthy, and I hope you, listening to this on Wednesday, I hope that you went out yesterday and voted.
Are you going to vote?
I am. No. Yeah, no, I am. I'm like,
Now,
no, fuck voting. Dude.
Are
That's-
you?
It's all rigged.
Are you sure you're going to be able to?
Why?
Because you actually have to commit to being on time.
Getting
and
out of bed.
getting there,
Oh, yeah.
there.
Well, thankfully, here in Washington State, we have vote by mail,
There you
so I don't have to
Long as it's
go
time.
to the
You've got to
polls.
vote by mail.
Yeah.
Can I say
Yeah.
something? To any of the viewers out there who are watching this, if you see anything on the videos that
Yeah.
we missed, please comment. Let us know if you
Yes.
saw something creepy.
Or if you heard something on the audio.
Yeah,
that we
let
did.
us
Anything, point it out to us by either commenting on the YouTube videos at Big Irish J, or send us an email at
YouTube.com/BigIrishJ
Yeah.
or
and we'd
send us-
also,
or
we'd
send
also
us-
love to know like the timestamp
Yeah.
of where it is. So.
Yes. And
yeah,
you
you
will
should
let
send
us
an email.
know the
Yeah, are you gonna
timestamp
give
when
me
you
the
send us
email?
an email to hwppod@gmail.com. That's hwppod@gmail.com.
All right, I think that's it, guys. Thanks, Manny, for sitting in on the ghost hunting. Your
Thanks.
first one with us.
Yeah, thanks for a great weekend, guys.
And
Yeah,
you're
that
our
was
first
fun.
black on a ghost hunting episode.
Yeah, and you didn't die.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I
okay.
mean,
we'll see.
fucking this
Yeah.
just drops on him.
2019 haunted podcast in the books. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And now all we have left to do is say boo.